It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, welcome back in. Glad to have you aboard. Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the baby Chetster. Good to see you, fellas.
It's great to see you, man. It is great to see you. Again, we didn't run off baby Chet. He's here for day number 2. We'll see how long this lasts, but it's good to see him again. Hope everybody's having a nice start to their Rando Tuesday, as we call them right here on Rothman and Ice. How you feeling today, my guy? You good?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah.
We got things brewing here. I know I don't really care about April Fools. I don't know if you guys do. It's one of those things that maybe it's just a personality thing. I like the jokes, the pranks. They're okay. This is not the best day to be a sports radio host. Like, if you've done it a while, you get it, just to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, anything you see on Twitter, anything social media-wise, you know, the whole Tiger Woods, I'm coming back to the Masters and all that. I could see for maybe a half a second people saying, okay, the guy's Superman. We've seen him limp out there before. Maybe he'll pull a little WD-40 and play a few holes and then pull a ripcord and get out of there.
He popped his Achilles,
and then immediately...
That's where I was
he's got good doctors, Matty.
I was like, Tiger, I ain't buying any of that, big dog. I'm not buying any of that. One of my friends tried to get us in the group message today with a Dak Prescott to Pittsburgh trade. That happened.
Okay.
Nobody really bought it. You could kind of connect the dots there, but it doesn't seem like the Cowboys are coming off Dak Prescott. But you're right, because in this era of AI and fake Twitter accounts, which have been around for a few years now, where people are like copying, Schefter's Twitter page and Ian Rappaport's, and like it's one letter that's off from their last name and misspelling it by one letter on that stuff. Like, that happens all the time now. So I'm kind of numb to that, but everybody is on high alert today when it comes to April Fools, and I haven't seen anything that's been good today as far as an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. If you're going to get him, you got to get him early in the day. I think you got to get somebody early. It's got to be, you got to wake up to it. It's got to be that kind of deal. Here's Tiger Woods' tweet. I can't believe I am saying this. Okay, that should be your first hint. I can't believe I'm saying this. But a few weeks after rupturing my left Achilles, sleeping at a hyperbaric chamber, plus the explosive lifts, my doctors and trainers had me ready to play the Masters next week. Can't wait. See y'all on the course. First of all, you're not seeing anybody on the course, because rarely can you even get there.
You're not doing any type of explosive lifting off a popped Achilles that you just popped 2 weeks ago.
Manny. These guys, listen, he could afford any doctor, even one without a diploma.
He needed Charlie to tell him, Pops, this ain't it. Because that's just not even close to being a good April Fool. None of it's realistic.
Yeah, well, he didn't. I don't know if he left you hanging very long. It was probably a few minutes. P.S. April Fool. Actually, his retweet of his own tweet is better than the original. P.S. April Fools, my Achilles is still a mess.
Thanks, Tiger.
That's actually pretty good.
You.
That I like.
Oh, my goodness.
Very proud of you. Very nice. So that's it. I really, I don't fall for these too much, but I could see if I was going to be nailed on one, it would be early in the day. Marty's tweeting me. This is great. ESPN put out a tweet. Former Alabama head coach Nick Saban plans to make his return to college football. Now, if you had ended it there somehow, if you would have just ended the tweet there, if ESPN would have put that out, that Nick Saban spent a year off, whatever, and he's decided to come back to college football, and then you added something like unsure of where, but he wants to coach again. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you believe that? You could believe it. I would believe that. But when you add the line and becomes the head coach of the Ohio University Bobcats,
ridiculous.
Then all of a sudden, like, that's the one. I think people are just going a little too far.
It's just any type of breaking news that I get today or we get today, I'm not buying.
Yeah. Well, we're not selling it either.
No, we're not going to try to fool anybody with trickery today. I don't know. Baby Chet may have something up his sleeve for us. I don't know. But I am not a trickster. I'm not a prankster. I've never been that guy. Like, I've never tried to scare people all the time.
Man, it feels good to be a gangster.
Yeah,
Maddie's not a prankster.
I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. So if I see any type of alerts popping off online today, I'm automatically going to, that is not true.
Yeah.
Because it's just that type of day, and everybody's going to try to have fun and get one over on us.
Yeah. I'm not saying it can't happen.
Right.
I certainly I can be naive to stuff and stuff I read. The other thing you said about, the letter has changed or something on Twitter, I would say the name is spelled correctly. It's the handle you have to look at. The @
Oh, yeah,
that's the one. That's the one that gets you.
Well, the AI videos that are out there, too, are absolutely insane, where people will have, like, a coach at a podium, like he's at a press conference, saying something that could be true, but even down to the mouth moving exactly to what he's saying is actually terrifying that we're entering that realm of technology with AI. It really does scare me. Because you know how I feel about robots and when that's going to happen, and how I think robots are just going to take over the world at some point in time, the way they kind of did in iRobot with Will Smith, where they just turn on you at any moment, and there's just no defeating them when we get to that point. We're inching our way towards that, and I'm really spooked out for what's next for us in the next 20 to 30 years when it comes to technology with that stuff.
Will the robots still have human bosses?
I think for a short amount of time they will.
Okay.
But once they realize they can just take over this thing, they'll be running us. Yeah, I think that's where we're headed.
Okay.
I don't think I'd ever want to, I probably won't ever be able to afford a robot ever in life. But if they do become available, will you purchase one? If you have the means to get
dog?
one. And I forget who I'm talking to. You got the means to buy anything, so I don't know why I'm bringing this up.
Your motorcycle. So we're going all in on Terminator.
Live-in robot, your personal butler. He goes upstairs. He gets your cheeses for you.
Robot butcher. Yeah, just
I don't think we need that. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Like he'd be your caddy.
Yeah.
You know?
A caddy would be nice.
Yeah, of course. See, now you're
a robot caddy.
Yeah. Never carry your bag ever again.
Advice too? When you read the
all the technology you need.
Read the lines?
But then he might just be hovering over you one night while you're sleeping. You look up and he's just right there with that 5-iron. It's like, I've had enough. You're not tipping me enough on the course.
Time to practice. All right, so we got that taken care of. So we're just basically what we're trying to do is offer you a public service announcement today. That if something sounds too good to be true, maybe it is.
It is.
Maybe it isn't.
Yeah.
Or it sounds too crazy to be true. But that's the beauty of kind of the world we live in now, where you can expect the unexpected. I also saw this today for the NFL. Boy, the NFL, they want to take down the NBA, don't they? Like, just take them down completely.
You talking about the Christmas Day stuff?
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the triple header, right? We've got now the NFL Christmas triple header. They're going to play 2 games on Netflix that day before the Christmas nightcap on Amazon. Speaking of robots and streaming and everything else.
Listen, I'm living good that day.
Be able to find anything.
It's not going to be, that day can't get much better than that for me. It's 2-screen shouty that day. You got to have them both because I'm not missing any of that. The NBA schedule is such a tradition for me on Christmas Day. You have to love that. But the NFL.
Does the game mean that much, though? I mean, you got Christmas Day games in the NFL mean everything.
Oh, they mean a lot, too, in the NBA at that point. Yeah, no doubt we're rocking and rolling. No doubt. That's kind of the turn and where we really get things cranked up. But you're right. They're trying to take over enemy territory. They're trying to plant their flag everywhere. The NFL is trying to do that with everyone. They've turned this thing into a round-the-clock, 365, all eyes on us type of thing. And I respect it because it makes so much sense. Their league is always talked about from January all the way down to December every single year. And so if you feel like you could take something off somebody's plate, why not? Roger Goodell and the gang, I get it. There's so much money to be made, especially with these different platforms and these streaming services like Netflix and Amazon, and they're just throwing all these big bags around. Why would you not take it? You're not worried about that competition because you know you're going to win.
The NFL has what the other sports don't. They have less and more meaningful games.
Yep.
They have the plan where, and now they're trying to expand a little bit, but their sport has the every game matters more than any other sport. It does. I mean, you got 82, you got 162. That's what they have over those other sports. And then it's also a little bit more of, I don't know if football translates to television the best. It feels like it does to me. I mean, the NBA is fine on television, that's for sure. Maybe you don't get the same emotion you get out of football. But I've always heard that, that the game translated to TV so good, and that's why it made a lot of sense. But it still is, well, it used to be like a complete outdoor game, and now obviously indoors it doesn't even matter. But and I'm comparing it to hockey because you know how much I love it. And I do agree that when you compare the two as far as translating to TV, it's really not a contest. I remember the NHL had such problems with the average fan. I can't see the puck, and now it's behind the wall, and where is it? And, all right, let's glow puck that thing. And now we know where it is. Yeah. And then that seemed a little bit too gimmicky for everybody. So
it just seems like if you're any sport outside of the NFL and college football, you're going to be up against it. And if they come into your territory, you're going to take an L when it comes to rating because just the world loves football. It's always going to be that way. It always has been that way. So basketball, hockey, golf, baseball, all those competitors, NFL, college football, they're always going to dominate. We just seen it year in and year out. It's never going to change. I actually thought the Netflix product was pretty good last year. The 2 games we got with that Chiefs-Steelers game, it was Houston and Baltimore, I believe, too. On Christmas Day, it was fine. It was great. More football. I don't think we're going to complain. People are sitting around all day doing nothing anyway on Christmas. Roger Goodell's like, let's throw these games on here, make millions and millions and millions of dollars, and keep this train rolling. I see the vision. I get it.
Yeah, it's there. It's there to stay, and it's only going to get, I want to say worse, but maybe a lot of people view it as better. I don't know. We got a nice menu for you today. No lies here on April Fools. We got Austin Ward coming up from the podcast bottom of the hour. We'll talk Buckeyes with him. We'll have Dallin Kuff on. He is the ESPN college basketball analyst, and we'll ask him who wins it all in the Final Four. And then Brad Crawford, college football analyst as well at 2:30 because we'll talk about the regression and the teams that were in the CFP that we may not see again for a while. But coming up next, we'll dip back into the Buckeyes. Ryan Day on the Morning Juice, and he said that Ohio State is not for everyone. Why? You'll find out next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Skyline nachos are back, and now there's a spicy version. Get them with Skyline's cheddar or habanero cheese, topped with fiery jalapeno slices. But hurry, Skyline's regular and new spicy nachos are only at participating restaurants for a limited time.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-THIRD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia. Often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, priority access to Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Act now. Visit bluejackets.com/tickets.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
April 1st, and perhaps the most significant event on this day for Reds radio listeners, happened way back in 1967 when 37-year-old Joe Nuxhall decided to call it quits after his 15-year pitching career with the Reds. Nuxhall hung up his glove and took a seat in the broadcast booth alongside Claude Sullivan and Jim McIntyre. The first year of what would stretch into 4 decades of calling Reds games, the old left-hander, one of the most beloved personalities in Reds history. And also on this date, a moment we must acknowledge, a moment that will live in infamy in baseball. Umpire John McSherry died at Riverfront, the victim of a heart attack on opening day in Cincinnati on April 1, 1996. This date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A pretty pleasant day for us with temperatures in the mid to low 50s and mostly sunny skies. But Wednesday will start off with mostly sunny to partly sunny skies. Have a chance of showers and storms late morning, early afternoon. It will be warm and windy with our highs getting into the mid to upper 70s, but stay weather aware late Wednesday. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The best teams don't always win titles. Sounds like AR and Maddie bragging about their fantasy teams.
Hey, that's cheating!
This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, indeed. Ryan Day on the Morning Juice talking about a lot of things with his team going into the spring, defending, finding leadership again. It's a brand new day, no pun intended. It's weird. I don't think there's any real pressure to defend other than the pressure of what it already is. It's Ohio State football. Like, if they didn't win it all last year, what would their expectations be this year with a brand new quarterback and losing all they had? Like, what if they would have lost along the way? What would we be saying this year? I think the focus would be 100 times on Michigan.
Yes.
100 times. Like, I think we would have gone into this season. Let's say they did get clipped by Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Made a successful run, didn't get all the way. I'm not talking about an egg laying at home against Tennessee. That would have brought everything into the conversation. I'm talking about you clip them at home and you get Oregon the way you got them.
Cooked them.
And then Texas comes back and wins that game somehow.
You nailed it. That's absolutely the singular focus going into this year.
It would have been, I think the confidence would have been low, not because of what you lost, that you didn't get it all the way there. The fact that you got it all the way there and won it all, it doesn't give you a pass, but it just changes the focus. It changes the narrative off of the dropping another one to Michigan because you rescued it. And a lot of people were saying the same thing. The only way you can rescue it is by winning it all. And he did. So it doesn't mean that there's pressure off of beating Michigan. There should never be that. But it does change the intensity of it.
Everybody, everybody's kind of got their hair down a little bit to a certain degree. Once we get closer to the year, it's going to be right back to, I think, similar expectations for this program. Beat Michigan, win the Big Ten, get into the playoff, and make some type of noise. With the talent that they have year in and year out, with the coaching staff that they have and the resources that, are behind this program right now, those expectations should always be the same. And last year it was cranked up to a whole nother level because of the roster that it was on paper. And when you had national championship coaches in Urban Meyer and Jim Tressel prior to the season coming out and saying, man, this might be the best roster I've ever seen. This is one of the best rosters I've ever seen in college football. And you had players themselves on record talking about, yeah, it's natty or bust for us. We know how good we can be. It's natty or bust. Doesn't feel that way right now, but we're in April. It's April 1st. And maybe once we get rolling in training camp and you start to hear some buzz about what this team could be when things start to come together more, maybe that'll come back into play. I doubt it because there's so much unknown with this team, so much change at the most important position, so many new guys on defense that are going to have to really step up. Just a lot of movement right now on the coaching staff as well. And I think these are the exciting parts of Ohio State's history is when you get this refresh button and it really shines a light on what your coaching staff can be and how you can get those guys ready to go. Because the coaching was really good last year, but I think a big part of it, too, was the guys that know or knew what to do day in and day out to get ready, that being the players and their experience and knowing what it takes to get through that grind. A lot of these guys this year are going to have to figure that out on the fly, and that's where the coaches come into play to shepherd them where they need to go and get those guys headed down the right track.
Listen, outside of playing ultra-conservative in the Michigan game, they threw caution to the wind. And a lot of those guys that went with championship or bust, they just leaned into what we knew was there. That was their last ride. There was no way they could come back and right that wrong anyway. Yeah. So you either lean into that championship or bust or you don't. The fact they did it publicly was not risky, but it was bold. And so I think that we're in an era now with Ohio State cashing in on this. The other part is the expanded playoff. Whenever you have equal or the most talent in the country, and you're in the tournament most likely every year now, it does lean to the top-heavy teams. You and I talked about this last year a lot, about could an underdog team win it? Ohio State wasn't an underdog. They were an 8 seed that felt like a 1, even though they had just the difference was they had come off laying an egg to Michigan, so nobody really knew where their minds were. Because I never thought that team was broken. I said it a million times. They weren't broken. It was whether or not they still were going to have the emotion that it took to right that wrong, and obviously they did. So Ryan Day was on Morning Juice talking about this era of recruiting, and now he's coming off a natty. In years past, it may have been, I got to get on that moving train. Now it's a little bit of the same, but it's also where a kid can play and get his, and you know what I'm talking about with get his, about money. Here is Ryan Day talking about the change in philosophy.
Recruiting now more than ever, at least here at Ohio State, like we open up our doors and we identify those that we think are a good fit in terms of their athletic ability and how they fit into our schemes, but also how they fit into the program, the city of Columbus, being a Buckeye. But opening up our doors and saying, man, this is who we are, and not as much, maybe in the past there was a little more of a sales job. And the reason for that is because guys can walk out the door at any moment. So what you do in recruiting, it has to be authentic. And, Ohio State's not for everybody. And so to explain exactly what it looks like, what our expectations are, what the expectations are here in Ohio for those who are from outside the state. The great thing is, I think that there's some really good young talent in the state of Ohio. So that's been great to see that coming up, because we know that's our foundation. But to answer your question, a big part of it is to explain exactly what we do here, what the expectations are in terms of leadership. And then guys are just, naturally attracted to it, or they're not, and that's the big thing in recruiting. I mean, once you get here, you have to live it. You have to want to be here so that, when adversity hits, you're willing to work through those tough times. And I think a big part of that is identifying the recruiting process, but also guys choose it, more almost than you talk them into it.
I'm not saying that this would be any different if they won or if they hadn't won, but he now has something that he didn't have before, which is a little bit of everything. He can now sell the standard is the standard, because he has the result of winning it all last year in a year of adversity, in a year where they lost a couple games, lost by a half a second to Oregon most likely, lost to Michigan at home in a horrendous rivalry game for them. But he rescued it. So, Maddie, he has something now when he recruits outside of what they can offer these kids financially. He has the look at the process. Look at what happened. Look at what we had to go through. Look where we had to come from in the bracket to win it. Look who we had to beat. That doesn't happen on talent alone. It's like, you know what the analogy I'd like to make? You go into a job interview of a job you really want, and you're willing to say anything to get the job, even if you don't feel like you can live up to that.
Yeah.
What he's saying to the recruits now is, we can be ultra honest with you, because the standard is not moving here. You either want to be a part of this, and look what I have to show. Look at the big prize that we got. It's almost a perfect storm for him now.
He has everything, in my opinion, that you want to sell as a head coach. Everything. He has the financial backing, it seems, when it comes to NIL. He has rich history of this program being what it is and being a Mount Rushmore program around the sport. He has guys in the NFL that play at a high level that have been paid millions and millions of dollars. And now he has on his own resume, as a leader of one of the most prestigious programs around the sport, I got it done at the highest level. I won a national championship. I just signed a contract extension. If you want to be a part of this elite fraternity and not only be a great football player, be connected to great business people and all of those things that come along with being attached to Ohio State, this is where you need to be. And so he can set that standard and say the standard is the standard now, because he had a lot of that stuff already, but that last feather in his cap of last year, having that confetti drop from the sky and holding that trophy is what it's going to put him in that elite class and be able to maintain that standard out there on the recruiting trail and sell everything that you could possibly want to sell to recruits. And to me right now, he has it all at his disposal.
He's always had the stuff he's always had that history, and he's always had that. He's always had Ohio State. But now he has something a little bit different. He has proof that in this expanded era, in the NIL era, that you can navigate those waters and win it all and have a lot to show for it. The one thing he can't, the interesting part is they probably back in the day used to sell, you get to play in that Ohio State-Michigan game. I'm wondering how much he would sell that.
It's still a part of it. It still has to be a part of it, right? Like, it's your job as the Ohio State coach to sell that game because of the history that's there. And also now you sell, unfortunately, there you go.
Help it.
You can be the guy or the class
Michigan was selling
to flip this thing around and get us back on track.
We'll come back with our friend Austin Ward from The Podcast, and we'll ask him about the hype around this team. They are the favorite to do it again. We'll get his questions and answers in next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Feeling unsure about preparing your roof for spring storms? Newman Roofing is here for you. For over 30 years, we've helped homeowners understand their roof's conditions so they can make the best decision for their home. Stop worrying and call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit NewmanRoofing.com today. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Spring into a new vehicle at Crown Automotive Group of Dublin. Luxury, power, and adventure, all waiting for you. Explore our vast selection of exquisite Mercedes-Benz, the all-new rugged Ineos Grenadier, and the powerful lineup of Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram vehicles. Crown Automotive Group in Dublin is the only dealership in Columbus awarded a J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. Visit Crown Automotive Group of Dublin on Perimeter Drive in Dublin or online at crowncarsdublin.com. Crown Automotive Group, the better way to buy.
Take action with Logan Services. Get up to $900 off a Train furnace and up to $1,500 off a Train air conditioner. Plus free duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule your free estimate now. Logan Services.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's hidden talent is weaving a movie quote into every conversation. It's mostly not annoying. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back, our friend Austin Ward. Been too long, dotting the I's in the podcast. And here he is now with us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. A-Dub in the house. How you feeling, my man?
Great to be with you guys. Nothing quite like a Tuesday afternoon with Rothman and Ice.
There we go, baby.
All right, we'll try to make that count for you. We'll try to live up to those expectations. So we just talked about, it's interesting about recruiting and guys and now and the financial part of it. You and I would come from way back in the era where you were selling the history of Ohio State, the platform Ohio State, the game. You were selling that. You get a chance to do that, compete for titles, get coached, trained, developed, send you to the NFL, all your hopes and dreams answered. How much has this, in your mind, and I know there's no way you can quantify this, but how much in your mind has recruiting tipped to a kid telling Ryan Day or position coach, okay, what do you have to offer me, versus all those other questions maybe recruits were asking 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, this might sound hard to believe to some, and it's not meant just to, gas up the reigning national champs, but I think a big part of Ohio State's success on the recruiting trail and then in that college football playoff and the sustainability of that program over a longer period of time, Anthony, has been that, yes, NIL is a part of a conversation. I think Ohio State tries to keep it to be like maybe a third of the conversation, because you have to have it. You can't not be involved in it. But if it is the primary driver for a kid, when he sits down to have a conversation with Ryan Day or Tim Walton or Matt Derary or Brian Hartline or anybody else, that's generally their cue that they might need to move away from that. And I'm not saying that that's perfect, if that's 100%, that that's how it's always going to be. There's some players that you have to be involved with no matter what to the finish line. But they are emphasizing those things, and they do emphasize the brotherhood as much as it can be a cliche or sound like lip service to people outside of Columbus or outside of the Woody. If you don't fit in culturally, if you don't fit into the offense, if you don't believe in the position fit and the development that you're going to get, the NIL piece is not going to be enough to keep you in Columbus. That's sort of the philosophy that I think Ohio State has used to really great success. Not everybody uses it that way, and I think sometimes that leads to recruitments you look at and you say, well, Ohio State should win that one, and why not just pay up for that? It's one piece of the puzzle, and if it becomes the only piece, that's generally when Ohio State says this is probably not the spot for you.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I like that, A-Double. Let's get into some spring ball talk, and I'm sure you've been over there a few times and been around the program at some of these pressers over the last couple of weeks. Who's a guy for you that maybe is creating a little buzz right now that isn't quite yet a household name for the old Scarlet and Gray?
Yeah, we just finished up with the defensive backs group today, and I don't think it would surprise many people who follow recruiting that Devin Sanchez drew one of the biggest crowds around him, the 5-star cornerback from Texas. I think there is just a lot to like. My buddy Berm has compared him to Jeremiah Smith of cornerbacks, and I don't know if that is too much pressure to put on somebody, but I know that Devin Sanchez isn't backing away from that. I think he's made a really strong impression now. They're through 9 practices here in spring camp. So there's a long way to go. You listen to Tim Walton and Matt Carreri, the secondary coaches, say, well, yes, the athleticism is there. Yes, the mentality is there. Devin Sanchez was one of the last guys to leave the practice field this afternoon, leading up to media availability. I think he accepts the mission the same way that Jeremiah Smith did. Does that mean that he's going to start against Texas? I don't know. Davis Igbinosun and Jermaine Matthews are both back, and they're 2 really good players. But I think that they've got some versatility with those corners and what they might be able to do with, they've gone back with Matt Patricia to calling that nickel spot the star again. So get used to that in your verbiage with the Buckeyes and hearing that a lot. Jermaine Matthews can play that, and I think the rise of Aaron Scott or Devin Sanchez can both provide some depth and flexibility for what the Buckeyes are trying to do defensively. So that's fresh in the mind for me, a little recency bias, but that's a name that's been coming up a lot. And then at the front, I think I've been telling you guys for several years, just like if you can get C.J. Hicks in a situation where he rushes the passer, he's got every tool you could possibly want to do that. And just when I thought I was maybe getting into too much hyperbole with this move to the defensive line, permanently Ryan Day stokes those fires by bringing him up a couple times on Monday in the Woody. So, again, that's not a new name, but I think in terms of productivity, that level for C.J. Hicks is going to be at a spot that it's never been before.
No, that's good stuff on the defense for sure. Do you feel like the talk around there about Sanchez is that he will be too good to keep off the field, and they may have to do what you're talking about and maybe move Matthews inside, or when they have situations where they need 3 corners on the field, he'll be the guy? Like, is he going to be too good to keep him out?
I think it could be both, Anthony, and that Devin Sanchez, I think, is going to need to play, and he's, I think, showing that he deserves to. Now, they don't just hand that to anybody, and we know that. You have to still go out there and earn it. There's no promises. It's not written in a contract that Devin Sanchez has to be a starter on day one, just like it wasn't for Jeremiah Smith. Some guys, though, bully their way into it, and the talent can't be denied. And I think it's twofold. You want to be able to play multiple corners. Like when Ohio State has been at its best, they're rotating 3 guys. They're keeping them fresh. There's no drop-off when they go in there. And this is a spot now where if you include Aaron Scott in that group where, he was also a 5-star. He's got a year in the program. I think, listening to him, you can feel a little bit of chip on his shoulder like, hey, don't forget about me. I mean, I was the one that you guys wanted to talk to at this time last year before he got to Devin Sanchez. I can do this too. And Jermaine has played some at nickel. They've toyed around with that in the past. I honestly think that Davis Igbinosun would be really good there with his size and strength, and maybe that could negate some of the penalties he's had on the perimeter. But the main point is, if you are including Sanchez in that group of 3, 4, or more, depending on how many safeties, now you've got the ability to cross-train. You can play corner, you can play star, you can play both safety spots. And I think that's more than anything what Ohio State is trying to find out through these 15 practices heading up to next Saturday. How many guys can be out there? Who can go where? How does Devin Sanchez fit into that? How does Aaron Scott fit in there? And then what do the pieces look like best so that when you get to Texas, there's no second-guessing that?
We got a ways to go, it seems like, Austin, until the quarterback situation really figures itself out. And, that's fine. It's April 1st, so obviously we've got a long way to go. But looking at the skill sets that are in that quarterback room and looking how the offense ran last year with Will under center, is it, in your opinion, no matter who it is, are you expecting a dramatic shift in the offensive style this year when it comes to quarterback run and all those things? Like, what's your opinion on maybe how the offense would look this year without Will now leading the charge?
Yeah, I think if we're talking quarterback run game, I think Julian Sand can do some of that. But there was a really, sort of subtle but interesting comment from Ryan Day about getting through this season with those quarterbacks. And he said, well, Will Howard was really veteran. He was 6'5". But that doesn't apply to Lincoln Keenholz. It doesn't apply to Julian Sand. And the point is, are you going to want to put them in harm's way? Is that the best use of their skill set? Can you get through the season if you're running them a lot? You need to run them a lot. Even as good as Will Howard was at that, especially in the playoff run, it wasn't like there was a ton of quarterback power or asking him to run it 15 times. So to your point, Maddie, will they change things a lot? Probably not. Will it? If you're asking who would be the better runner of those two guys, and that might be a role that Lincoln Kienholz can carve out for himself. We're working under this assumption that Julian Sand will eventually win the starting quarterback job. We're not alone that. I think the two of you agree with me on that that's probably where this is heading. But again, he's never done it. He's never had to get through this many games. He's never started a college football game. I think there have been a lot of moments of that sample size when he's been on the field. It's like, oh, he can run a little bit better than I thought, or he can do this, that, and the other thing, and you can run the entire offense with him, and that's all encouraging stuff. But I think you're going to need both of them probably to get through the length of this season, but that's especially true if you want to maintain some of that threat of the quarterback run that Will Howard provided.
Great stuff as always, my man. Golf soon, and we'll be talking to you. Enjoy it.
Yeah, let's get rid of these cold splashes and get back out there, Anthony. We'll see you.
I know. See you, buddy. He knows the 3 seasons in Ohio, my 3 seasons. Cold, wet, and hot. And we're kind of we're in the cold/wet.
Yeah, this is the roller
then we'll
coaster
get the
part.
wet/hot.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting rain for like the next 3-4 days as expected. Temp's going to be nice, but of course, there's rain on the way.
That's
right. We just can't have it all when we want it.
All right, we're coming back, and we'll continue with college football because the transfer portal madness and the hypothetical that drives one coach bananas. We'll tell you that next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Columbus knows what it takes to be a champion. Just like your favorite team, Caster Connection plays to win. Our heavy-duty casters and wheels offer unmatched durability and ergonomic performance from manufacturing and material handling and beyond. With an unrivaled online inventory and the best consultative experts in the industry, we'll help you find the right caster for any job. Shop now at casterconnection.com and save 10% on online orders with promo code ROLL10. Not a retail location.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman here for Germain Honda of Dublin. So what's the difference? There are other Honda dealers around. Well, Rich Newsom and his team want to earn your trust. They don't expect it, and they earn it by giving you a great price, and then they back it up after the sale with same-day service, no appointment necessary, a great variety of brand new Hondas, and hundreds of pre-owned certified Hondas to choose from, all at the same location. Identify yours at GermainHondaofDublin.com. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
The Buckeye Buckeye Show.
The next year or two, you giving him a shot to win it? I am. Devontae Smith wins the Heisman. You can't picture Jeremiah winning it?
I don't see how you could.
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
These two have a ton in common. Anthony loves hockey, and Matty's always cold. This is Rothman and Ice.
It is. And the war between the tush push and the torpedo bat.
Oh,
Who's
listen.
going to win?
The Eagles are taking their victory laps today. I saw Lane Johnson tweet now, they hate us because they ain't us. And the team Twitter page put like the peach emoji, which is, represents, the backside, and they put like a hand behind it. So, yeah, Eagles Nation taking their victory laps. Not that they need it. They already have been having a tremendous offseason because they won the Super Bowl. But it looks like conversations for the tush push have been tabled until May. I believe I saw. So tush push is still happening right now.
It's not a priority. It probably shouldn't be a priority. Like I said yesterday, if it goes, I'm fine with it. If it stays, I'm fine with it. And I understand that changing a rule based on one team doing really well, you know what? It's so easy to see what happens when, and I think you can still look at it with an analytical eye, but I feel like if the Yankees weren't the ones using the torpedo bats, I don't know how much we'd care, unless another team was just doing what they were doing. And if the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl, but they were still running the tush push, how much would we really care? To me, it's not coincidental that those two brands, one the champion of the NFL and the other the New York Yankees, are the ones that certainly make this more news. Then I'm intrigued by the torpedo bat. Don't get me wrong. I feel like that it's something that probably does make a difference when ball meets bat. I think it's
more of a sweet spot. Yeah. It's more of a sweet spot. That doesn't make it any easier, as far as the task of getting from point A to point B. But, yeah, the science and the studies that are going into this thing are fascinating because now it's all over national TV on all these sports shows and all these different articles are coming out about it. I know who enjoyed a torpedo bat last night. And it was my boy Ellie De La Cruz because he went absolutely nuts down at GABP with a couple home runs and 7 RBIs against the Texas Rangers. And it was reported that he got one of those torpedo bats shipped in. So, this is going to take over the sport. And, I don't want to take away from Ellie because Ellie's great. He's a tremendous talent. But it's just something that's out there now. And it's unfortunate because I feel like it's going to take away a little bit from what people perceive as a little bit of cutting corners for some of these guys. I don't view it that way, but that's out there too. But yeah, Ellie got him one yesterday in the building, and he went absolutely off last night.
I'd be shocked if somebody said this is not an advantage. It is an advantage. The difference is it's a legal advantage. This isn't steroids.
No.
And the whole argument with steroids, the whole argument was that, well, it's the player. It's the player. It's more the player than the bat. But the same thing with steroids. It was when bat meets ball or the recover, everything else, everything changes. So that's all. Let me ask you this,
real quick, before we get to James Franklin. Was there any conversation ever in the world of golf of the shafts that were flexible that created more whiplash to create? Was that ever like a thing? Or
non-conforming clubs were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff that was non-conforming, stuff that, yes. But also drug testing is very much kind of a untalked about thing on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Like there was always that silent, well, he's just taking some time off. Oh, really? Maybe the tour got to him, and they're protecting the image. It's a little different than baseball, where this guy got popped for 80 games. See ya.
Yeah, Jerks and Profar yesterday, they got popped.
Yeah. Unpaid, right?
Yeah. Braves, 0-5. One of your big-time free agents popped for PEDs. It ain't great.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you're 12 years into your career and you have the best year ever last season, that it's a little bit weird.
Might be on to something, baby. Chet.
I didn't know that Ellie had a torpedo bat.
He did.
Because I thought originally, because you and I both have him in fantasy, and I saw the game too, obviously, but I wasn't sure. I thought he was going to be the outlier. Like, I thought he was going to be the poster child for, look, you can do it the old-fashioned way.
I don't blame any of these guys.
I
saw, I believe the brand is Mariucci or Marucci bat brand.
Steve Mariucci is making bats?
Yeah, I think it's Marucci, but they'll hold me to that. They threw out there that hundreds and hundreds of these have been ordered around the league. So they're about to take over.
All right. We'll get back to the task at hand here, which is talking about this transfer portal. And I thought James Franklin brought up something interesting. And this was with our guy, Ari Wasserman.
On 3?
On 3. They had Franklin on. And he was afraid, this is how sad it is for coaches now, that they have to sometimes orchestrate what might be better for their future while possibly hurting their present, right? Give a guy a platform early, you may lose him.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened in basketball a lot, where if you play a young guy early and he blows up, well, then now the world wants him, and here comes the money, and you can't retain him.
Yeah, and we got coaches, are worried about spring game stuff. And, guys like Matt Rule believing, hey, we don't need to have spring games because, to your point, we don't want a young guy to pop off in the game and another university come along with a massive collective and say, we got more than what Nebraska's offering you. Come on down. That stuff's real.
Yeah, no, it is. And that's why I'm saying about how they're orchestrating the present and the future all at the same time.
Yeah.
And he talked with the guys from On 3 about the playoff and what happened with Drew Aller and what might have happened where he may have, if he didn't win at all, which he didn't, but if he didn't win at all, he might have been just wrecked from a quarterback situation.
So Drew announces he's coming back. Bo now goes into the transfer portal to look around to leave because he's leaving because Drew's coming back. Drew goes on fire during the playoff run and now turns into not only a first-round draft choice, which he was already projected to be, but now a top 5 pick. And he felt the pressure to make an announcement, and now all of a sudden we're in a position where we lost both of them. So that was a realistic concern. That could have been even crazier.
So the joke would be, don't worry, James, it didn't happen. But it did somewhat happen. They beat some teams they should beat, and you're never going to not play the best guy, especially when it counts. Like, if you're out of it, like if you're not making the playoff, okay, fine. Maybe you orchestrate a little differently for the future.
Yeah.
He was talking about Bo Pribula, who wound up leaving. The other quarterback had transferred away. But so in his mind, and I do believe him, that he was like, man, Drew said he was coming back, but now we're in a playoff and he's on a heater.
Mm-hmm.
And now he may change his mind and go to the NFL. But my backup quarterback,
he gone.
He had heard that that Drew was staying. So why should he stick around? And now what if my quarterback goes to the NFL? Now I've lost both, and I've lost my backup, who I could have promised, hey, he's leaving, or you're going to be the guy.
You can be the guy, yeah.
Like, this is what they're navigating.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And I think, both in college football and college basketball, I don't know if, we have ideal timing when it comes to these portals opening up, because I remember the conversation about Bo going into the playoff where it's like, man, if something happens to Drew Aller, they're down. They don't have their backup quarterback going into the most important time of the year, because there was guys that were saying, hey, I'm hitting the portal, but I'm staying with my team. I think, was it Devin Brown that did that along the way? Then you had other guys like Bo that were like, I'm out right now. Like, I want to move on to greener pastures immediately. So I can understand how that can be stressful and put, not only Coach Franklin, but these other coaches in a bind because of the timing. Yeah, AR, it's just not ideal.
Yeah, and I want people to take that the right way. I think James Franklin is an easy target. But I think there was this narrative after he said what he said that, I was worried my quarterback would help us win a national title, but thankfully that didn't happen. Like, no, that's not really what he was saying. He's like, the timing of it for my guys, they have to do what's best for them, and things are fluid and they may change. Yeah. Like if Drew would have won it all, maybe he says, I got what I came for. I got a national title. Now I will go to the NFL, and he lost his backup. So this is what happens. No one's sticking it out anymore. Coaches are leaving, players are leaving, money's flowing. This is the way you got to handle it.
Get the money while you can. Get the money while you can, especially in the sport that we're talking about. Your career changes in the blink of an eye. One bad ankle turn, one bad knee tweak, you could be done and not come out the same player.
One ankle injury in the shower. You never know.
That's a whole story with Freddie Freeman. That's wild.
You can tell that one next. And after a SportsCenter update, we will get into a certain quarterback that may be still in play should this team want him. You'll find out next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Breaking news.
T&Cs apply.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here. There was a time if you handed me a bread basket at dinner, it was like feeding a gator. You might lose a finger. Bread, pasta, pizza, man, carbs were undefeated in my life. That is, until Awaken 180 weight loss came in and flipped the script. Look, I've run the gauntlet of diets, and each time, carbs won by knockout. But Awaken 180 isn't a diet. It's a whole new playbook for changed up lifestyle. We all know it's necessary to lose that weight, but this is to keep it off. That constant carb craving, the one we all shrug off as normal, gone. Sure, I still love my pizza, but here's the difference. Now I don't need it. So now, most times when that waiter hustles over with a basket of temptation, I just grin, give a little nod, and wave it away like I'm passing on a fourth and long, because I'm in control now. Awaken 180 isn't just a game changer, it's a life changer. Trust me. Call them at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Your future self will thank you.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time homebuyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlog projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. It was a big morning on The Fan as Ryan Day joined Bobby and Beam on Morning Juice. He spoke a little bit about the recruiting process nowadays.
Guys can walk out the door at any moment. So what you do in recruiting, it has to be authentic. Ohio State's not for everybody. And so to explain exactly what it looks like, what our expectations are, what the expectations are here in Ohio, you have to live it. You have to want to be here so that when adversity hits, you're willing to work through that.
The Cincinnati Reds look to make it 2 in a row when they host the Texas Rangers at 6:40 tonight. You can hear it on the Fans HD3. The Cleveland Guardians still in San Diego taking on the Padres at 9:40. Big night in the Arena District as the Clippers have their home opener against St. Paul at 6:15, and the Blue Jackets host the Predators at 7. Pre-game coverage on the Fan begins at 6:30. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give him a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Anthony can follow direction very well as long as he first prints out MapQuest. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
I like to have a hard copy. That way things don't change. You got it right in front of you. And if you like things to be better and change, maybe it's time for you to go to lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment. Get those numbers. There's power in those numbers. Been feeling a little exhausted, lacking that motivation and drive. You gained some LBs. Could be signs of low testosterone. Don't wait. Do it with the experts at Low T Center. They'll make it easy to get your levels checked. You'll get online, as I say, lowtcenter.com. Make your appointment. Go there. Take the test. They'll give you the results right there. And then you will know where you land on the scale. And if you need help, they will help you. They have more than a decade of experience helping patients. And their personal treatment plans are optimized for every patient, not just basic standard treatments. If you're a current patient, they will give you $150 in referral credit for every new patient that you refer. And at Low T Center, it's one-stop shopping for us guys. GLP-1 weight loss medications. You can get evaluated for that as well. But go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. As Bake said in the update, Jackets on the ice tonight at Nationwide. This is one where they should win. This is a Preds team that's coming off a back-to-back. They've lost 9 of their last 10 roadies on the second leg of a back-to-back. So that leans into the Jackets, and hopefully that will happen. It's a great race here at the end, and the Blue Jackets have covered the puck line in every one of their last 6 games as favorites against the Central Division. So I would say in my early bet 365, Matty, I'm going to lay that goal and a half and get myself a little plus 140.
Yeah, I like the juice on that. Yeah, I like the juice on that a lot. I think I'm going to roll with you because they've been, for the most part, all year, very good at home. A couple of those games recently have gone the other way in their own barn, but I think they found a nice rhythm here. They figured some things out, got some guys back in the mix who we knew coming into the year were going to be critical with Monahan and some other guys. And so, yeah, looking for a sharp outing for them because it's put up or shut up time right now. Not for them, but some of those other teams that are scratching and calling for one of those same spots that they're fighting for. So, yeah, very much looking forward to seeing what the boys do tonight out there on the ice.
Preds have only scored 4 goals in the last 3 games. They're on a 3-game bender, and they're coming to a team that absolutely needs this. So the edge, mental edge, maybe the physical edge because of the Preds being on a back-to-back should go to the Jackets. But hockey's a funny sport. You can play great and lose, play crappy and win. You never know. That's why we're going to watch. I mentioned that the certain quarterback may still be in play. And we'll start with Diana Rossini on this. Who does she work for now, Maddie?
I want to say the Athletic.
Athletic. That sounds right.
So.
That sounds right. So she's still tied into the NFL with all her sources, and I don't know if she's not really breaking anything here, but I think when Kirk Cousins, when that $10 million bonus was paid out to him, I think there was this thought that, okay, he's going to be a Falcon. He's just going to be Penix's backup or wait for him to play badly or wait for him to get injured or whatever, and this is unfortunately the bed that they've made together, but she's saying don't put that in cement just yet.
They still have so many questions at quarterback, which brings us to Kirk Cousins. Is that a real thing for Atlanta to trade Kirk to Cleveland? From my sense, yes. I don't know how far along it is right now. I just know there's enough smoke around this and enough conversations being had that this would not be a surprising move. Knowing Kevin Stefanski coached Kirk Cousins when he was in Minnesota, it makes a lot of sense on why that would work.
Of course it does. You know why? It makes the most sense. Because Cleveland needs a quarterback. That's why it makes the most sense. I don't care whether it's Cousins. Cousins with Stefanski, I understand what she's saying, and that could be a part of the fit and scheme and all of that. But it really makes the most sense because of where Cleveland is right now in the quarterback situation and what we heard Haslam say the other day about how that even though they have to get this draft right, that doesn't mean picking a player. Like, hear me correctly on that. When the owner says we have to get this draft right, don't automatically assume that the word right means a person.
What do you mean by that, Aaron?
Maybe picks and maybe trading down.
Yeah.
It could be basically managing this draft correctly. Because I think when he said we got to get this draft right, everyone assumed, well, they better pick the right guy.
Well, he told us yesterday,
I don't know
right?
if that's the case.
Coming out of the owners meetings down there may be a year or two process when it comes to that quarterback position. I always have thought, and I think you've been on the same page, that Kirk Cousins and the Browns would be good dancing partners together based off of where the quarterback market is right now, because it ain't very sexy out there. It's not. There's no guy that you're going to find out there that's going to be your long-term answer via free agency right now. Like, I don't think anybody's really buying into the whole Carson Wentz pipe dream or any of that stuff. And maybe you dust off Flacco again and bring him back to see what you got. Like, there's nothing long-term there with those guys. Kirk would be a bridge for a year or two. I think he could have the potential to hit the ground running with his comfortability within the offense with Kevin Stefanski and knowing what the coach requires and vice versa. What a coach can do for said player, that being Kirk Cousins, as far as what are his strengths and all of those good things. It's a smart move, in my opinion, by Atlanta to do what they did with Kirk Cousins. That way you get something for him. I don't believe that they really want to keep him around for a whole nother year and have that storyline hovering over the head of the team, but more importantly, Michael Penix. So the Browns are going to have to cough up some type of draft capital to get Kirk Cousins. I think
a ton.
Probably not a ton, and it doesn't seem like the financial hit would be very big either.
They might have to pay a chunk of that guarantee.
It's not going to be huge, though, right? It's not going to be anything crazy.
Right. From a quarterback standpoint, a guy this is established he is your right.
No doubt.
If you got to pay a chunk of $28 million, you'll do it.
Right, and so I saw Albert Breer, he tweeted out some stuff, and it says that Falcons owner Arthur Blank says he spent an hour talking to quarterback Kirk Cousins and took 5 pages of notes. During the conversation, he then passed along his thoughts to his football people. Blank definitely didn't close the door on a trade. He continues by saying Blank also added the obvious. The decision will be based on what's best for the team. He said he's fine with Cousins as a backup. I asked if he thought it might be best to give Michael Penix a clean slate. He said he has that. I don't see Cousins being a divisive individual. So that's coming from the owner. He thinks Kirk will play ball.
You know what he means by that real fast?
Yeah.
He means that Kirk's going to waive his no trade. Because if he can't start here, why would he want to be here?
Yes. I also think he truly believes that Kirk will be okay just sitting on the sideline and rotting for a year. And that because of
really?
Because
at his age?
Yeah, when he says AR, I don't see Cousins being a divisive individual.
I read it the way where
I think
let's
he's
do
saying
what's best for both of us.
It could be that, but I think because of Kirk's personality and kind of how he's just a happy-go-lucky type of guy, he may think that he's good. We paid him. He could sit there on the sideline and he won't be a distraction. Either way, it's starting to feel like the Browns are going to go with one of Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, to me, right now, and then they're going to call Atlanta and try to figure this out. Maybe after the draft, I don't know. And I would understand that plan because I would rather the Browns, if I were a fan, take a swing on Kirk Cousins, another year removed from this Achilles injury, and acquiring a young talent, whether that's on the defensive line or in Travis's case, a wide receiver and corner, that obviously is going to have much more runway with Kirk and give you potentially a pillar to build around. I would see that vision right now for the Browns if that's what they're thinking in-house at the moment. I get it.
For Cousins' standpoint, I think he's got to wait till after the draft. I don't think he can get into that situation again.
I agree.
Maybe the Browns can give a little
little hint.
You know, maybe we can meet at Chipotle and share a little something there together. Make yourself a damn quesadilla.
He had to be, in my opinion, in Cleveland doing some type of football business and getting a feel of what you just said. And what you just said.
What are you guys going to do in the draft? Because if we could have a wink thing here, and you guys go ahead and take a player. You take it, like you said, you take a Travis Hunter, you take an Abdul Carter. I'm in.
I'll waive my no trade clause and let's rock.
Or if you want to take a quarterback, I'll mentor the quarterback. You know, if you're going to sit the rookie a little bit, unless I get re-injured or play poorly.
See, I think he wants no parts of a rookie quarterback.
He probably doesn't, but who's he more afraid of, Kenny Pickett or Shedeur Sanders?
I think
if he was even afraid.
I think the natural pressure that comes with drafting a quarterback at 2, you don't want to deal with that if you're Kirk. You'd much rather deal with Kenny Two Gloves because you know you're beating him out. Let's be real.
Makes a lot of sense, like she says. He knows the head coach. He knows the system. Well, he just knows the head coach. That may be the best way to say it. And so I really don't know how good Cousins is anymore. I know he's better than what they have. Yes. And I know he's not going to cost them massive money. And it just makes sense. They just have to wait for the draft. It's kind of similar with the Steelers, and we'll get to them with the Rodgers and why, you know, they're waiting. I think that makes sense too for both parties. When we come back, you know, we just talked about Shedeur, so we'll talk about him. And there is word that if he does slip, which is possible he does, will a certain team pounce? And how far would he slip? Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Breaking news.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Find everyday savings and bargains on produce, meat, and more. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting long-term lower prices. With our weekly sales, deals for days promotions, and My Perks loyalty program, Giant Eagle helps make the most out of every shopping trip. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle and experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle and Market District today to see how easy it is to save.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A pretty pleasant day for us with temperatures in the mid to low 50s and mostly sunny skies. But Wednesday will start off with mostly sunny to partly sunny skies. Have a chance of showers and storms late morning, early afternoon. It will be warm and windy with our highs getting into the mid to upper 70s, but stay weather aware late Wednesday. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up, knuckleheads? You're listening to Rothman and Ice on The Fan. It's not terrible.
Partially terrible. All right, so before we get into the Shador slide, if possible, and who it pounds, I asked Maddie during the break, because he's the NBA guy, what is the public scoreboard on if you had to choose between who's winning the verbal jousting at medieval times, LeBron or Stephen A?
Mm-hmm.
What is the scorecard, sir, publicly?
Honestly, the vibe that I've been getting is that it's a fitty lemon lime thing, because I think you're going to side with the guy that you liked coming into this whole thing. because I think points were made on both sides.
Doesn't the player usually always win versus the media guy?
I think LeBron's always been one of the easiest targets for a lot of people for years. And so there's definitely some Stephen A. supporters, especially from some media members out there. What I thought was interesting, because you and I, when we were reacting to LeBron, when he was, he sat down with McAfee for over an hour, when he got to the Brian Windhorst thing, that was kind of odd. And then you and I didn't talk about Wendy's reaction to that, because Windhorst came out and said, LeBron doesn't owe me anything. I owe LeBron a lot. And so I still don't really know.
So he didn't even bark back with the, I never referred to him as my best friend.
He was very thankful for what the doors LeBron's opened for his career, which has been great. And Wendy's awesome at what he does. And so Wendy took the ball and ran with it. But he came out and said, I owe LeBron
so
a
he
lot.
Took the high road.
He took the high road. And I think he was being genuine because, LeBron brought him into Cleveland, gave him a whole bunch of stuff, insight and access to a lot of things. And I'm sure Wendy's made a lot of money in doing so because of LeBron, which is great. But Wendy, like I said, has earned his stripes in the business, no doubt about it.
Well, didn't the Akron Beacon Journal assign Windhorst to the Cavs because of
his relationship?
Yeah, I didn't think the Cavs
it was always out there, too, that LeBron signed off on Wendy being that close to not only him, but the team. Okay. And, Allie Clifton was a part of that inner circle as well. Because remember, Allie Clifton used to work for the Cavs in Cleveland, brought her out to L.A., got her a job with Spectrum. So he's done that for some people in the business. But, Wendy.
That's people who talk nice of him?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Just people he trusts, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to keep that circle, tight. And I get that when you're LeBron. So, it just seems like, honestly, that story is now in the wind. Nobody's really talking about it. It was a good story for 48 hours, and that's the world we live in now, right? This 24-hour cycle of sports is always something new, and we're on to maybe not bigger and better things, but we're always on to something new over the next 24 hours. Just the world we live in now.
I did think it was weird. The Bronny stuff with Stephen A. I get. Like, or I get it with LeBron. That's his kid. He kind of orchestrated the Lakers to, maybe you leapfrogged other guys or other talented guys. You want me, you got to draft my son, the whole thing. Like, okay, I get it. They both have something at stake there, Stephen A. and LeBron. LeBron's got his son, certainly he's trying to protect, and the reputation of his son athletically as well. And then Stephen A. certainly has a job to do himself. It was the Windhorst swipe that got me. And I don't know the guy. I don't know Windhorst. I watch him like you do. I think he's done a good job. I think that timing is everything, but this wasn't just a guy who got lucky. I think that once the timing was there, he showed that he could handle the job and do it very well. He's one of the great speakers on the NBA. I thought that swipe at him had to come from somewhere.
Correct.
And the fact that Windhorst didn't play into it was probably a smart move.
It also speaks to how Wendy is wired and how Stephen A. Smith is wired. Some guys are going to see something like that, run with it, bark back, push back the way Stephen A. is. He's that way anyway. And
I just wanted one test. I just wanted Windhorst to testify to one thing, Maddie. I wanted somebody to ask him, have you ever publicly referred to LeBron as that you guys are personally very good friends? Or
only
best
those
friend?
Two would know. Yeah, only those two would know, and I doubt that he would even touch that question publicly.
The other famous son is Shedeur Sanders. And Giants general manager Joe Schoen, his main marching orders this season is similar to the Browns in that you got to fill a quarterback room. And the last few weeks, he added Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston in free agency. And on top of that, re-signed a third guy in Tommy DeVito. He can't be done, right? He said at the NFL League meeting in Palm Beach on Monday that if the right quarterback is available when they're on the clock, a quarterback is a possibility. Well, of course it is. Anything's a possibility. A lot of people believe the Giants, Cam Ward's not going to be there. Not at 3.
No,
he's not getting past the two teams above him. They'd have to move if they want him, and they'd have to pay a lot to get there. So Ward's gone in my mind to Tennessee. Cleveland's the interesting part. And so if he gets to 3 with what the Giants have done, why wouldn't they think about picking him? Russ isn't the future. Jameis has been in the league a lot. You know what you're getting with him. A viable backup who's going to wing it around 50 times, have some highlights and some picks, and you get everything.
And pray the Lord forgives him.
And hope he gets to play in the
sixes.
snow. Right, that too. And so I feel like the Giants, quote, going in any direction is not accurate. I think that if he's there, they will be certainly tempted to take him.
And I think they should. And I absolutely think they should. Would have an issue if Cleveland drafted him, would not have an issue if the Giants drafted him, because both teams are in the same camp. They are looking for a guy that is going to be more than an answer or more than a Band-Aid for 1 or 2 seasons. Since Eli Manning left, they had a flash in the pan with Daniel Jones that led to a contract that was not good, but he capitalized at the right time. And they've been swimming upstream ever since. Same thing could be said for Cleveland, but probably even worse with just all the quarterbacks that they've had. And so it would really make sense, and I think Shedeur would play well in the big city. I think his connection with Malik Neighbors would absolutely be great. They got a long way to go with that roster that they have, especially on offense. They got some good players on defense, especially that defensive line. But they need a guy, and I think Shedeur can handle the big lights and the big-time pressure that the Big Apple provides. I think he'd be great for the city. So, yeah, I think they should absolutely take a swing on Shedeur if he falls at 3. You get rid of one of Tommy, Jameis, and Russell Wilson and create a pathway for him to take over.
Yeah. Better get an offensive line in a hurry. The Giants have given up the most sacks in the NFL in past 2 years. And you're going to throw a rookie in there. Boy, that would be wild. And you know, and you've pointed out before that Sanders sacked a lot in college and held on to the ball. It doesn't mean he's not talented and can't survive. It just means they better get him some help if they're going to take him. I just don't know how he could thrive behind that offensive line the way it is. Chetster, I sent you a sound bite. Can you set this up for me? This is Shedeur talking about thriving with Brian Daboll's leadership.
That's what you're going to be doing? That's what you're going with? Yeah. You know, that's what it is.
No, dog, you can't come please, Neff. Come anywhere but the NFC East, man. Please, man.
He's going to have to root against him.
Please, Neff. Please don't. I want to wear Shedeur Sanders jerseys all year. I can't do that shit you with the Giants.
That's what you're going to.
So he's talking to, I think his name is Gilly?
Yeah, Gilly. They got a big-time pod. They are huge Eagles fans, so that's why you're hearing him push back on, not wanting him to go to the New York Giants.
I don't know, man. Don't you think he'd want to go to New York?
Of course. It just seems like a match made in heaven.
It does from a personal standpoint. From a professional standpoint, I'm not quite sure
I see the vision, too. I hear what you're saying about the offensive line. There's only so much you can do about that. There really is. Not every offensive line, as we know, is perfect. He's got to get there in time. But you have the vets in the building, right? You can maybe ease him in to that situation a few weeks in, maybe a year or two. Who knows what that looks like? I'm not a huge fan of sitting rookie quarterbacks for over a year, honestly. That just doesn't make much sense. To me,
guys have sat. Mahomes sat. Rodgers sat. I mean, there are guys that
not a lot.
Have sat.
Usually, when you get drafted that high, you're playing sooner rather than later. Especially when you're drafted in the top 5, it's time to go. We got to figure out what the kid is.
Where'd Mahomes go?
10.
Yeah. And
Rodgers and Love were back 20s.
They were. All right, we come back in 2 minutes. We'll switch to college hoops. Final Four coming your way Saturday. Dallin Kuff, ESPN. Which team is going to win it all? We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Empower. Nick bought a new guitar, a 62 American Classic Electric. Does he know how to play? No. But Nick's Empower investment account has performed well. He got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risks. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a really, really, really good guitar solo.
We've all been there. You come home after a long day, only to find water dripping from the ceiling. Your roof has decided it's had enough. And now, frustration sets in. Another unexpected problem added to your never-ending to-do list. At Newman Roofing, we get it. That's why we make the process simple and stress-free, handling every detail with professionalism, so you don't have to worry and can get back to the things that matter most to you. So, how do you begin? Step 1. Schedule your free estimate by calling our office at 614-NEW-ROOF or visiting our website, newmanroofing.com. Step 2. Meet with one of our trusted representatives who will guide you through the best plan for your home. Step 3. We get to work, and you watch your roof transform before your very eyes. Whether it's your roof, gutters, or siding, the Newman Roofing team is here to guide and support you every step of the way. Call today at 614-NEW-ROOF to schedule your free estimate and experience the Newman Roofing difference. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Maddie ranked the most dynamic duo of all time, Caesar Salad and Moscow Mule. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, we got an all-timer again. 4 number ones. Massive favorites to get to the Final Four, and here they are. So we got the heavyweight card that we wanted. We'll see if it lives up to it. We haven't had a ton of, quote, madness, but now we got the heavyweight fights that everyone loves on Saturday. And we bring on our friend Dallin Kuff, ESPN college basketball analyst, the former captain of Columbia, the man. It's been too long. How you been? You enjoying the tournament?
I'm doing well, fellas. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I have enjoyed the tournament. I know people are bummed at not having enough Cinderella or haven't been enough buzzer beaters, but just because the ball doesn't go through the hoop with 0.0 on the clock doesn't mean there wasn't a lot of drama late. And I think we like Cinderella. I think it tugs the heartstrings of Americans, and we love the underdog story for so many different reasons. But when it comes to this point in time, and even the Sweet 16, I think we want the big boys playing the big boys, and that's what we have coming into this Final Four for sure.
Let's start with Duke and Houston, because I feel like coming off the Bama game before that, I thought, oh, wow, Duke's, they're going to have their hands full here. And I didn't expect them to shoot the way they did against BYU because Duke's going to play a lot better defense. But here comes Houston now with their three-point shooting. Are they going to have the answer that Bama didn't?
Well, they play very, very different ways. I mean, I know we did Bet Live. It was on Saturday and on ESPN, and my favorite play of the day was just to hammer Duke minus 6.5 and lay the under team total 83.5 Alabama, because there's regression is a real thing, and especially in college sports. When you have 25 threes one night out, you're going to find the mean again a little bit more the second day. Now, granted, they were worse than they normally are. I still thought they could make 10 threes and get blown out because of how Duke can defend. So that result didn't surprise me, because Alabama's not an elite offensive team. They have to play at pace. They have to get paint touches and kick out for threes. It's the only options that they have to score at the level necessary to beat Duke. Houston's different. They can make the thing a grinder. The guards have to be really strong with the ball, especially off ball screen action, where Houston's going to blitz those ball screens and step up in different places. They're going to monster the post, which is double the post, big to big, and rotate out of it. Like, that they're what they're going to do defensively, but you have to execute through it. It's a very different challenge. And you mentioned the three-point shooting. Yes, Houston does shoot the ball a lot better. This is not the Houston team of years past where they need to win 45-48 in a rock fight. They can make threes. They shoot 39% on the season. It's top 15 in the country. They don't take a ton, but they take good ones. Cryer and Sharp are really good. Miles Uzan is the most improved player in the country, if you ask me, in the last 3 months. Their point guard now, who hits so many big baskets. And then Roberts, they play through as a big sometimes in different ways. So they can beat you in a lot of different ways. I do think Duke is still the favorite for a reason. I still think Duke is likely to win. Their 4.5-point line yesterday, I have not checked it today, but that's a warranted number. And I think that they'd probably end up covering it just because they are elite defensively and they can do and score a lot on offense if they take care of the ball and rebound. I mean, if Houston's going to test your onions, boys, they're not going to let you just skate through this thing. So if they rebound and they don't turn it over, I think Duke wins. If they struggle in either one of those areas, Houston is more than capable of doing this thing on the offensive side of the ball, and they're apparently coached by Kelvin Sampson.
Of the 4 head coaches remaining, which coach do you believe has the most pressure on him to get it all done now that they're this close?
That's an interesting question. I feel like just because of the brand name, the casual nature, the casual fan obsession with Duke, and the fact they're replacing a legend in Coach K, I think there is, probably the most pressure on Shire. I mean, Bruce Pearl's been here a second time. He's not going anywhere. He's carving out the special space at Auburn. Todd Golden, first time ever here in Florida. You rewind to November, December, they were 20, 25-1 to win the championship. I talked about that in different betting shows because they had a lot of talent. So I would not surprise if they got to this point. For them to win this thing, I think people would have been a little bit surprised by that. And Kelvin Sampson and Houston were one of the teams projected at the beginning of the year to be right here. And Kelvin's never got it done, so I know he wants to and he's hungry to, but he's a Hall of Famer regardless. I think you could probably just point to Shire, because I think if they don't win the way they've been boat racing teams, that narrative starts because of who they are and Cooper Flag. They'll get more coverage on First Take. I mean, guys, put it in the bank right now. I say to the ESPN employee, if they lose in the semifinal, did Duke choke? That will be a bottom. That will be the lower third on some sort of, with Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith up there talking. I could bet my life on it, because that's what we traffic in, unfortunately, a lot of times, and I could see that happening. If they lose, regardless of how the game plays out, I could see that just being the conversation, or that at least being the topic bar to get people to stop at an airport or stop at a bar and look up and say, what are they talking about? Because that's kind of how we work. So I think Duke has the most pressure. Shire has the most pressure, given who he's replaced, the brand they are, and how they've been boat racing teams.
Okay, I do like that take. I like the fact that the brand, especially. Listen, Duke's royalty. If they lost to another number one, a team that was preseason top 4, anybody that would type "did they choke" with the freshmen they have is out of touch, I think. Like, I don't think that's right. But you're right. To get eyeballs, that would probably be the take. But I don't think it would be an accurate one, especially who they're playing. I mean, they were higher ranked preseason than Duke was. So that'd be interesting to me. Let me ask you about Florida. They've played with fire here, and they just have you just can't put them out. Like, they've been against the ropes. These teams, I don't know whether they're capable, in your opinion, to knock them out, but the leads that those two teams had at the time of the game they had them, is there a little destiny now attached to Florida in your mind?
Well, because history tells us that you got to survive. You got to survive in advance. You got to pull some irons out of the fire. History tells us that, until we watched UConn just do it the last 2 years and not play a game within double digits. So it used to be you had to play one tight. So I would think that, Duke's going to find water's going to find its level. Not necessarily the case with Duke. And with your point with Florida, no, I can't say they're destined, but it is a confluence of a number of different things. Let's not forget how UConn wasn't capable, I think, of really finishing that game. They're not the same level of players. I think Texas Tech was, the players to do it. Darian Williams and JT Toppin will think about those free throws the rest of their life. And I think because gotten lost in this. Todd Golden has done this since he was at USF. Very analytically based coach. I've known him since he was the volunteer assistant at Columbia when he was under Kyle Smith in 2011, 11-12 season. This is a team that a guy that will foul really early. He will roll the dice and go try to get a point for the next possession or get you to miss a free throw at the front end really early. And they called that timeout with 2:40, 2:50 to go, and they came out with the intention of fouling JT Toppin. The guys did not foul him. They went instead. They let him get rid of the ball. They let him catch it in the backcourt. To foul him with the intention. They didn't do it. They got it to Williams. They fouled Williams right away, and then you saw Todd was kind of mad. 84% free throw shooter. He misses the front end. They come down, bang a three. They go the next possession. They foul Toppin this time successfully. He misses the free throw. They come down, end up banging a three, I think, after an offensive rebound. Going from 9-6 like that, whole game flipped, whole game changed. Those two young men will think about those free throws for the rest of their lives and them not executing down the stretch. So they were capable of doing it. They had them on the ropes. It was a great coaching decision, and it wasn't the greatest execution by his players defensively. It sure as hell was offensively. Houck was great. Of course, Clayton late. Clayton is the difference. He wants the ball, and he's making plays late at a really high level. So to take out Florida, it has to be a complete 40 minutes. You give us 39-30, it's not enough. And that's what they've shown.
No doubt. No doubt. I want to zoom out from the Final Four and just ask you about the Kevin Willard situation. I've seen, quotes out there from some people on Maryland's side of things saying, he played us like a drum, him moving on to now Villanova. What's your take on what you saw with that situation in the sport of college basketball?
It was sad and unnecessary, honestly. And I've said this a couple times now, and I wouldn't have pictured myself saying this a month ago. I wish Kevin Willard would have handled it like Will Wade handled it. And Will Wade went to his team, his locker room. Now, it's different going from mid-major to a high major. I get that. But he went right in and just said, hey, guys, I got this opportunity to come here. We can still do something real special. I'm going to go. And some of you guys I want you to come with me. Some of you guys are never going to play college basketball again. This is our moment. Some of you guys may not want to come with me because this is your biggest shop window ever. And if you show out now, you might get an opportunity to go play for more money than I could even offer you. I don't know. But let's go do this thing right now. There was an honesty. There was an authenticity. Let's go do this. Willard brought up these comments before the tournament started about the AD. He started talking about the night in New York, didn't have the money. He brought that all up. And as soon as you start throwing mud at your employer before you're about to play a tournament game, that creates a problem. Then you get into your second Sweet 16 since 2003, guys. The Terps aren't commonly in this place anymore. And now you're deflecting questions. Now you want to play coy. Now you don't want to say things to the point where you're booed walking out of your team, smattering of boos, not all boos, smattering of boos, walking out of your team hotel to go play the Sweet 16 game against the number 1 seed and one of people's favorites to win the whole thing in Florida. It was an unnecessary fall from grace. It never to happen that way. I think in today's world, you are better off when it's a one-year proposition in college basketball and every college sport right now. It's a one-year proposition for coaches and players. They can do whatever they want, the players, so can the coaches now too. You're better off being fully transparent with guys and just being like, if you're going to open the Pandora's box, you just start talking about the university, you may as well be real about what's going on. Because if you don't ever have that conversation, I think you can then deflect more naturally and with less questions and less fire around it, if that's what you way to handle it. But I think the best way to go is just be above board, be honest, be straightforward. Here's what we're doing. I'm talking to these guys, but it doesn't really matter, guys. Here's what we can do right now. And again, some of you can come with me. Some of you will never play again. Some of you guys are going to the NBA, Derek Queen. Let's go do this right now, and let's play together. Let's keep this focus on us. And I think he brought in a lot of distraction and a lot of noise that then I don't think necessarily helped his team in the short term.
He killed the ride. They were coming off a buzzer beater. Like he just killed the emotion of it. I agree with you. It was, and I'm not saying there's a perfect way to play this stuff, you know, when you want to leave. But I'll ask you in the final 30 seconds here. Was he accurate, Dallin, in your opinion, in anything he was saying about NIL, or was this just a guy who wanted to go to a non-football school and really compete and not have to fly to the West Coast with the Big Ten? Like, was anything that he was saying, accusing Maryland of, or his situation, was it accurate in your mind?
From people I've talked to, there's some truth to it. Like how they're funded, when they get that full Big Ten share, all this stuff, how they divide their money and resources. There's some challenges. I mean, they started the practice facility, I believe, another one, which is kind of behind in resources. So there's some truth there. But I think the more honest opinion is I can go to Nova, to your point, with the rev share deal that's about to happen in this case. If there's no football, we are position A. We are the top dogs. I can go there to a traditional powerhouse in an amazing recruiting bed that doesn't even that has a different travel situation, that plays a true round-robin schedule, that has all these positives, and I'm not following a legend anymore. I'm following a train wreck after the legend left. I'm in a pretty good spot here. I'm going to go over there. So I think there's more truth that he liked the grass was greener, that his situation was really as bad as he might have made it out to be.
All right, so I'm going to read your mind. Do you have Duke playing Florida?
I do now.
Okay.
I didn't in my bracket because I didn't know who was healthy for sure, and I thought that would be a bit of a problem. But I do think they win. It's up to 5.5 now. I saw as we were talking. So the question is, do I lay the 5.5? I'm probably leaning towards yes. But I think that both games will be really compelling. Mm-hmm. The Florida Auburn one's more interesting. I think Auburn, there's value to bet Auburn straight up. Like they're on the money line. They haven't been as great as they were earlier in the year, but they still have won and covered every game in this tournament, minus the first one. That's pretty good. I think they're playing better than the narrative will say. So I think that Auburn-Florida game could be outstanding, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's Auburn-Duke in the final.
But your winner is Duke, regardless?
If it's Auburn-Duke, my winner is Duke. If it's Duke-Florida, well, my winner is Duke. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was Florida before the tournament, but I think Duke's going to cut down the net.
All right, my man. Great stuff as always. Enjoy the Final Four. Hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thanks, Dallin.
Anytime, Matt. You will.
Yeah, he's great. Dallin Kuff, ESPN college basketball analyst, former Columbia captain, and he knows this game inside and out. And like he said, you could probably make a case for any of these four. That's the beauty of it. We'll come back with a Buckeye Bulletin, and we will talk about Ryan Day again. No need to manufacture emotion. He'll tell you why next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus and save $84 on select sets of Ford Nokian tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends April 15th. See store for details.
Why are we quizzing kids on dinosaurs?
Comedian Sam Morrill, The Errors Tour.
Some cop pulls me over. He's like, what kind of dinosaur?
Live at Davidson Theater, April 10th.
I'm like, the Stegosaurus? He's like, step out of the vehicle.
Get tickets now at kappa.com.
We're catching up with that famous deep-sea explorer, Jacques Black-Jacques. Jacques, where are you today?
In Columbus, how?
You're in Columbus. What could you possibly be exploring in Columbus?
The April showers bring flooding to Batmans.
Oh, I see. Spring rains mean basements are flooding.
This not necessary. Apex Pros.
Not necessary. Call Apex Pros.
A simple zoom pump chick.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble understanding this. Zoom pump check. Sump pump check. Are you saying sump pump check?
Oui.
Yes, of course. Sump pump check from the pros who knows at Apex Pros.
They come to your house.
They come to your house.
They test your zoom pump.
They test your, what is it again?
Zoom pump.
Some pump, right.
All with a 5-star guarantee.
All with a 5-star guarantee. Now, see, I understood that perfectly.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino Columbus. Bone, did you know that the college basketball championship game is coming?
That's right. And you want to go to HollywoodColumbus.com to reserve a table and guarantee your spot for that, for the draft watch party, all kinds of good stuff. You know what draft?
What draft?
All the drafts.
We can't say it, but it's a big draft.
Plus, with their Tea Time giveaway, you could win a golf cart or $10,000 in Penn slot play Sunday, April 27th.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Buckeye Lake Marina Open House is Friday, April 11th through Sunday, April 13th. Register to win some cool prizes. And the grand prize of a weekend getaway at the lake, valued at over $3,000. Includes an Airbnb, a boat for the weekend, and $1,000 in lake area gift certificates. Buckeye Lake Marina will have the indoor showroom packed. Plus, you can visit the Docks and Marina store during the open house, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, April 11th through 13th. And you could win the grand getaway at Buckeye Lake. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for details. April 11th through 13th at Buckeye Lake Marina.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
A Progressive home and auto bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Why would we trade our best player?
Well, at least you got to watch him in person when he was here.
I named my only son after him.
So you'll always remember his name.
Yeah, but what do I do with this jersey?
Luckily, the company has a great return policy.
I wore it for 6 seasons.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Maddie's favorite show is Big Brother. Don't read into it. He's only watching strangers through hidden cameras. You're listening to Rothman and Creepy Stalker Guy.
All right. Buckeye Bulletin time, sir. Spin it, baby.
I'm working on it. We had the refresher playlist when the update went in.
Oh, the old refreshing of the playlist excuse.
I blame the original CB for not,
it was
keeping
in,
you up on that.
And then it went away.
I was down there just now. CB
he's doing macro data refinement.
Crunching numbers and, really climbing through Excel sheets and everything. It's what
he's been severed.
Oh, you mean Chris?
From the show. Yeah, somebody called him Chris yesterday.
Who called him
you got
Chris?
a new producer?
Call him out.
Where'd Chris go? No, we got time for that.
It's Adam King. AK doesn't care.
You mean
AK would
Chris?
call us out.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
Now, here's the question. Did you want me to go or wait when we first started the segment? You just want me to just go? Or was I going to wait for you to find it? That was the question that was on the table.
Well, I realized it very late, so I was hoping you just go. However.
Hoping. You didn't get my helmet. You didn't. I mean, I'm the core.
No,
we got a certain amount of time to call the play.
But it is sponsored. And so we got the sponsor in.
Got to pay the bills around
so now
here,
we're
baby,
good.
Chet.
But I needed you in my helmet, giving me the play call.
See, this is good practice.
Because I was looking at my wrist, and there was nothing there.
There's nothing on the play
I didn't
sheet.
write anything on my wrist today.
I held up a sign that had a rubber duck, the number pi symbol,
a taco,
AJ Hawk's face,
and a taco,
and the Hawk Tua girl.
Yeah. Well, that would have been better than what you did do.
Yeah.
Which was just staring blankly into that computer.
Real quick, I already know this is the Buckeye Bulletin.
Oh,
but
I
since
have
we
it.
just got done talking about Kevin Willard.
Oh, okay.
Pete Thamel was just reporting that Buzz Williams, AR, is expected to be the next coach at Maryland. So the sides are finalizing a deal. So he leaves, Texas A&M?
That's right.
Buzz Williams,
A good year.
The cleanest coach in all of college basketball.
From a suit standpoint?
Yes.
Better
I
than
love
Cronin? Similar.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Buzz on this. Buzz has got the drip going on the sideline, so happy to see that coming into the Big Ten. But yeah, since we just got done talking about Kevin Willard and how he left.
Well, he's
Maryland.
he's been at A&M for a little while.
Yeah, he
didn't just blow out of there after a year.
Coming on over to the Big Ten. So congrats to Buzz Williams and the Terps because they got a good coach. He's a good one.
I hope they rescue that. Maryland had a great year for it to be talked about like this, and they had the buzzer beater and everything.
Right.
This is what I thought you were going to say, Maddie. I would not have predicted that. I didn't know that. But here's what I would tell you, and it doesn't feel like it's anything to do with April Fools. Mei Johnson's going back to South Carolina.
And this isn't an April Fool's joke.
No, I don't like to peddle in those waters. I'm telling you that I'm giving you my honest feel that it is true.
Okay.
That he is going to go from, let's see, Ohio State.
Yep.
I'm going to do his years. Ohio State, South Carolina, Ohio State, South Carolina. 6 years of college down the drain.
It makes it would make sense to go back to a place you're familiar with, a place that you had decent amount of success in, being out there on the floor in the SEC. It's really unfortunate that this did not work out here in Columbus.
I mean, aren't you confused about the whole thing?
Yeah, I am. All of it was just odd. It really is. And they needed him on the floor this year. They needed that type of guy to give him that offensive spark every now and then. And so, yeah, that's a tough one for Coach Deebs and the gang. Will we ever get, true transparency as far as what happened with the situation? Probably not. But, yeah, it smelled funky from outside of the building.
I mean, you're a multiple bag man. You understand this. You're out there hustling for multiple bags.
I'll do some things.
Right?
Do something strange for a little piece of change. Been known to do that every once in a while.
Listen, for the people yelling, hey, make up your mind, dude, pick a school and go with it. That's just not where we are.
No.
And that's a revolving door. And if they were willing to take him back for whatever he was able to get there, I mean, people are writing me April Fool's question mark. I'm not. No, I feel like there's multiple reporting on this. I can't imagine they'd all be in on it, Dr. O's style or whatever. The Mentalist. Have you seen any
fraud? As Matty Ice revealed yesterday.
I'm just not buying it, baby. Chet.
I had a buddy of mine calling me, man, tough crowd on your show yesterday. None of those guys like the O's master.
It's not that I don't like him. The gimmick is pretty cool, but to me,
there's no way everybody could be in on it.
Okay, since we're going down this road, who is his mom? Who is his dad? Where did he get his superpowers from? Did he go to Hogwarts and study with Harry Potter?
Maybe.
Is that how he got this done? Like, I need more information. There's just no way I think a human being has been dropped on this earth with that type of brain power to do what he does. So the whole thing for me is fraudulent.
But entertaining.
To a certain degree, because then my mind goes back to what I just said.
What if he was really, really, really strange?
You're kind of heavy on the strange thing.
He's
like,
way too normal. I think he needed to be some sort of just introvert that they open up a
Was he in a darkness
chest and
retreat
he
with
comes
Rogers?
I think that would, I think
crawling out of a hole and looking like Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings.
I think it would, yes.
That type of weird?
I think it would sell it more. Like, you know what? I can buy that. That dude is weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need that personally, but yeah, I don't think any. I was talking to a friend of mine about it too. He doesn't buy it.
Let me ask
either.
you this.
Yeah.
Because everyone's kind of reporting now, I was looking up. It said Ohio State transfer Mei Johnson, who previously played for South Carolina, is going back to South Carolina per his IG page. You don't think he's playing a fast one on everybody?
Probably not.
Probably not,
I'm
right?
seeing
with everything that's going on for him?
Yeah, I'm with you, AR. I'm seeing the 24/7 site for South Carolina called The Big Spur. Under 24/7 umbrella. They put out a nice article about 15 minutes ago. So this seems pretty legit.
Let me ask you guys this.
Yeah.
If we get guys that start to do this, start at a school, go to another, go back to the school, like basically do a back and forth between two schools, will we now moving forward call that the Michi?
The Michi?
Is he good enough to be able to
Probably not.
carry
That's the key right there.
Oh yeah, look,
That's
pulled
the
a
key.
Michi.
Right.
All right.
Probably not.
You have that soundbite from Ryan Day. Can we wait on that and do it at the top of the hour?
We sure can.
All right.
What do I always tell you?
What's that?
You do whatever
time?
you want. Your name's on the dang show.
We got 3 hours.
Exactly.
Well, we have 1 hour left. But you guys are right. Boy, that's amazing. He's back. Michi back to the Gamecocks. Wow. Hey, they took him back.
Good luck to you, Michi.
It's for real.
Yep.
All right. We will come back top of the hour. Get into a little. Oh, this is the Chetster's first true or false.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
Did CB inform you of the music to play? Or do you need to go down there and ask him of that?
I think I got this one.
You know, when I walked back there and I looked at him, I go, "You bored yet?"
Oh, man.
Like he's just sitting there in front, staring into his computer.
Well, look, man, I only scored 5 points in 26 minutes last night against the Bulls. So I didn't have a great day last night.
Out in them Chi-Town streets too much, huh? Too much of that deep dish?
I guess so, but the rest of my teammates stepped up.
All right, we're going to come back, hopefully with a decent third hour, starting with True or False, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me, you're home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
When your sump pump is no longer sumping and pumping, please don't become a sump pump grump.
A sump pump grump thinks whacking the pump will make it start working again.
But it never does.
Get Eco.
ECO. A sump pump grump will let a faulty sump pump completely ruin a perfectly good day.
Fortunately, I've invented a solution.
No more sump pump grump?
No more sump pump grump.
Get Eco.
ECO. Tell me about it, Jerry.
The solution is that you get Eco to do a sump pump inspection.
What would that include?
We check your pump, your battery backup, and all the downspouts and drains along the way to make sure everything is running clear.
How much?
That's up to you, Aaron.
Jerry, Eco would be happy to do that for just $89.
That's a great price.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Go to GetEco.com.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here. You know, there was a time if you handed me a bread basket at dinner, it was like feeding a gator. You might lose a finger. Bread, pasta, pizza, man, carbs were undefeated in my life. That is, until Awaken 180 weight loss came in and flipped the script. Look, I've run the gauntlet of diets, and each time, carbs won by knockout. But Awaken 180 isn't a diet. It's a whole new playbook for changed up lifestyle. We all know it's necessary to lose that weight, but this is to keep it off. That constant carb craving, the one we all shrug off as normal, gone. Sure, I still love my pizza. But here's the difference. Now I don't need it. So now, most times when that waiter hustles over with a basket of temptation, I just grin, give a little nod, and wave it away like I'm passing on a 4th and long. Because I'm in control now. Awaken 180 isn't just a game changer, it's a life changer. Trust me. Call them at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Your future self will thank you.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Yeah, boss asked us to get the Ohio Lottery kiosks ready for the new $20 scratch-off, $2 million extreme cash. With $38 million in total prizes, we had to go big. We had cup holders, monster truck tires, even installed air horns, in case somebody reveals the extreme symbol and wins every prize on the scratch-off. Boss thinks the light shows a bit much, but gotta celebrate $2 million top prize winners somehow. So yeah, play $2 million extreme cash from the Ohio Lottery. And if you can tell my boss I did a good job, that'd be cool too. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. It's a big night in the Arena District tonight. The Columbus Clippers home opener and Dime a Dog night at Huntington Park. 6:15 first pitch for their matchup with St. Paul. Then down the road at Nationwide, the Blue Jackets host the Nashville Predators at 7. Defenseman Dante Fabro returns to the lineup for the CBJ. Elvis is in net. Pre-game coverage here on The Fan begins at 6:30. On The Fan's HD3 this evening, the Cincinnati Reds look to make it 2 in a row as they host the Texas Rangers at 6:40. Carson Spires gets the start for the Reds opposite Nathan Eovaldi. The Cleveland Guardians, they're still in San Diego taking on the Padres at 9:40. Logan Allen makes his first start of the year for Cleveland. Michael King for the Padres. This one's sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or at rcdrv.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program here. And no, Aaron Rodgers didn't sign with the Browns. And Nick Saban isn't coaching the Ohio Bobcats. And Tiger Woods isn't playing the Masters. You guys are having a lot of fun with me today. I'm not biting. I get it. Not going to be the fool today on April Fools. The other 364, fine. Not today. If you play 10 jokes on me, you might get 9 past me. But not that joke. Not today.
Proud of you, AR. Proud of you.
Full Herb Brooks on you.
How many times you watch that a year?
Miracle?
Yeah.
I don't actively watch it. If it's on, I'll watch it.
Okay.
Like, I don't actively seek it out.
But if you're scrolling through the guide,
if it's
a
I'll watch.
must stop.
I think so.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I think that it has that feel to me.
For me, those movies are Remember the Titans, Friday, and I love Friday. Like, the original Friday is just, it's timeless. You can't beat it. So Remember the Titans, Friday, and that's probably it. No, I lied. Any of the Harry Potters, for whatever reason, I will stop and watch. Here's the thing with the Harry Potters.
Two Harry
You don't
Potters
like
out of him
those.
in the past 20
I
minutes.
know, all of a sudden.
I haven't really watched all of them from start to finish. I've hopped in on all of them, and I enjoy the movies, but I've never watched them all from start to finish. But there's something about the Harry Potter movies that just had me in a chokehold. I'll always watch them.
How about the books, Matty? If you
I don't got the patience for that. How many pages they going in those books? I don't got the patience for it.
900.
Yeah, see, I'm good on that. I could do like an audiobook at the gym or something, but me sitting there reading, no, that's going to take too much time.
Books on tape.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good life, though, actually. It's good. You get on the treadmill, walk it out a little bit.
Maybe
on a book.
Maybe I just found something where maybe you should read Harry Potter books
on the air
tape for people. No, just you. You could do the voiceover.
I could do that.
Yeah.
You know who'd be really good is Paul.
Yeah,
Paul would be awesome at that. They need to hire Paul for the like the Hard Knocks stuff. Paul Keels would kill that.
I mean, Liv Schreiber's. I mean, didn't Aaron Rodgers say "voice of God" like that? It is. There's something about Schreiber's voice that is. It's just. How should I say this? It's just mesmerizing. There's something about his voice and the way it's very normal but great.
Yeah.
Like there's something about it.
But just imagine Paul leading in, doing that on Hard Knocks. It works just as well.
Yeah, well, give it a shot.
Paul's got too many other
I don't know if
jobs.
he can
He's like,
knock
"Matty,
out
let's chill
Liv.
out."
Like, I don't think that dude's ready to give that up.
He might have a lifetime contract. He should want to give it up. But if he needs a replacement, call it a bullpen. Call our boy Paul Keels. He'll hold it down.
All right, we are going to do a little true or false, but not just yet. Because I want to hear, this is the, I don't know if you guys caught this the other day with Ryan Day talking about the emotion of his team this spring. Let's hear it.
Well, it got ramped up last week. I mean, it was very intense last week. We almost had to pull them back at one point. I mean, this is a group that likes to get after it. They're edgy. There was a point where, we almost got a little bit too emotional at a couple of spots, but that's because these guys are fighting for positions, that's the way you want it as a coach. But it's ramped up. It's ramped up now. I think our coaches feel it. I think the players feel it. They know, we got to be ready to go week one. So, I mean, it's already in our back of our minds as we have that urgency coming off of last year. But yeah, that is all behind us, and it's all about moving forward. And we all know that these guys got to grow and get on the field and get this experience. So every day out there, every rep matters, and it's ramped up in a big way right now.
Fights, Matty?
I'm here for it. You got to have that every once in a while. I don't believe it's something that you want to have all the time. You don't. But with where the program is right now and how many jobs seem to be up for grabs, I can only imagine how intense things are right now. Because if you're a guy that's been waiting for a year, 2 years for this moment, this is your opportunity to potentially change your life as far as financial stuff goes with the NFL and all of that. Like, this could be your golden ticket. You could be Charlie. You could be Charlie from Willy Wonka right now, waking up every day and looking around and saying,
yeah, but Charlie could have bought 1 million of those bars and not gotten that ticket.
I'm just saying, Aaron, you get that ticket, you get the factory, your life has changed. For Ohio State, you go over there, you're waking up, you're looking around and saying, there's no JT, there's no Jack, there's no Will Howard, Travion Quinshon. You get it. Like, there's so many guys that I think are waking up really hungry. And when you have that, you're going to have some of those edgy practices where guys are a little frustrated with each other, especially when you're at this point and you're practicing against the same guys every day and doing similar things over and over and over again. Emotions are going to be high. So I actually think it's healthy for a team as long as it doesn't get out of bounds and as long as it's not an everyday type of thing where guys are fighting and all that. I have no issue with it.
All right, so I think we have another update in the portal, hoops-wise. And it looks like Aaron Bradshaw, we hardly knew you.
He gone?
The former Kentucky center turned Buckeye Well, he should be at 7-1. We talked about this the other day. So he came to Ohio State, and now he gone into the portal.
I'm not surprised.
He was a top 5 center when he was coming out and really thought that would help Ohio State's front court. And he was a 5-star kid. Never lived up to it. Had some moments this year. Put a little pressure on him. And I figured he would be a big deal once they lost Okpara. And so, he gone now.
I'm not surprised, AR. It just didn't seem like it was a good fit. It really didn't. And you're right about what he was sold as far as a recruit. Sometimes those things can be oversold, right? But when you think, or not, when you know you're getting a guy from a program like Kentucky and a guy like John Calipari recruits him, you think you're going to get much more than what he brought this year. I know some people looked at it like, well, why didn't Calipari really bang the table to bring him to Arkansas with him? And so you don't really know all the inner workings that goes into all of these things. When you lost Felix Okpara, you knew what you lost. That was a great rebounder, rim protector, did some of those things. And when you look at the frame, as you mentioned with Aaron Bradshaw, you thought he would be able to fill that gap. And he just wasn't able to do that consistently. And so maybe it was, hey, he didn't fit well in the system. Maybe he didn't feel like he was being coached up enough. Who knows what his reasons are, but just based off the vibe around him and what we saw from him on the floor, I'm not surprised that he looks at Columbus as not a good spot for him.
He didn't live up to it. That's the bottom line. He had plenty of opportunities. There was a reason that, I think when you come from Kentucky, there's a little bit of a reason of, well, maybe there's so much talent there you can't get on the floor, or you can't be the guy you want to be, and you could still be a star somewhere else. And so when he came here, I wasn't looking at, okay, he only averaged 5 points a game. Who's this stiff? I wasn't saying that. I was like, okay, wait a minute. They may have found a guy. Mm-hmm. And it never clicked, like you said. If you needed him for rebounding, you didn't get enough of that. If you needed him to stretch the floor a little bit, you didn't get enough of that. And I know he had a foot injury, I think, at Kentucky, got over that and had his moments, and now is not going to be a part of moving forward for Ohio State. We will move forward when we come back with a little bit of true or false. And also, the NFL has decided to treat their teams fairly on the field. I'll give you that detail next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to the Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, priority access to Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Act now. Visit bluejackets.com/tickets.
Sometimes you don't realize something was bothering you
until it's gone.
That's how you're going to feel
after we work our magic at your house.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Home values in Columbus are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market has peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for two things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest Truehold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? Truehold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. Truehold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much Truehold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We are live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown, dumb since day one. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at ChangeTheGameOhio.org. That's ChangeTheGameOhio.org.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman here for Germain Honda of Dublin. So what's the difference? There are other Honda dealers around. Well, Rich Newsom and his team want to earn your trust. They don't expect it, and they earn it by giving you a great price, and then they back it up after the sale with same-day service, no appointment necessary, a great variety of brand-new Hondas, and hundreds of pre-owned certified Hondas to choose from, all at the same location. Identify yours at GermainHondaofDublin.com. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A pretty pleasant day for us with temperatures in the mid to low 50s and mostly sunny skies. But Wednesday will start off with mostly sunny to partly sunny skies. Have a chance of showers and storms late morning, early afternoon. It will be warm and windy with our highs getting into the mid to upper 70s, but stay weather aware late Wednesday. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is also the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. And if you're a new customer, listen very closely because you get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Doesn't that sound awesome? Download the Bet365 app today. Get on that thing. I'm looking at my boy Matt McClain. Matt McClain, for your, mine, the world, Cincinnati Reds.
Remember last night for me.
3 straight games.
Yeah.
He's on my fantasy team, too. I have him and Ellie. It was a good night. Give me Matt McClain to do it again. Plus 600 for Matty Mac to hit a home run tonight. He's going to make it 4 straight games down at GABP.
I'll lean into the Jackets, minus a goal and a half, plus 140. Why not? I think the value's there. Not any value on betting them just to win the game at minus 200. It's you just hope to get an empty biscuit or they win by 2 and you get the plus 140. It's worth it, so I will do that.
Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Again, folks, don't waste any time. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
The Chetster said to me before the show that, this being his second day, that, and this isn't an exact quote, but he wanted to, quote, suck up to the teachers a little bit here. And
yeah, you want to include the text that I woke up to this morning?
Wait, what was the text?
I told him that I woke up to a home run on my boy that I picked yesterday on the air at plus 750.
Okay.
You see, we got to go into the Rothman and Ice vault in order to hear what it sounded like yesterday.
What's going on with my guy with the Braves, Michael Harris II? 1 for 15? He only hit 16 dingers last year, so betting him to get out of the slump and hitting one might be a little rich for me, but it is plus 750, so I think I'm going to just do it.
Harris gets into this, left center field, and the Braves break the drought. Michael Harris with a solo shot to get Atlanta on the board in the 8th.
On the board right now is Jose Ramirez for 2 total bases at plus 100. So I'm going to go with J-Ram, plus 100, 2 total bases, taking on Fernando Tatis and the gang. Should be a fun game to watch tonight.
Jose hammers one deep to left field. Back is Hayward. He's out of room. It's out of here. And the Guardians will play from in front. Jose Ramirez returning to the starting lineup, and he thumps one. His first hit of the year and his first home run.
All right, Nostradamuses. Don't screw it up today.
I was inspired by O's.
Was that us?
Plus 750 on Michael Harris, who was 1 for 15 on the year with no runs scored, no ribbies, nothing.
Heck of a call out of you.
Against the Dodgers.
Heck of a call out of you. I played it safer. I didn't even know J-Ram was playing. Plus 100. Here's the problem. Remember when I made a bet, or I didn't make a bet on Victor Hovland to win the Memorial a couple years ago, and he won
And I told him about it.
You did.
And then he asked
rightfully
me.
so.
And then he asked me.
Did he? Make any coin, and
How much did he put on it?
I didn't. Well, Jose Ramirez was not in my fantasy lineup yesterday. So I got none of that production, but I'll take the bet. I'll take the bet and run with it. But yeah, that was a nice little montage you cooked up. I like that the sound at the beginning of that, cracking open the vault.
Open the vault.
Yeah, next we'll ask if our lockers are working correctly.
Yeah.
That's good high-level producing right there from Baby Chat. That's awesome. Okay, because I forgot that I picked J-Ram yesterday.
He came to an idea this morning. He said, why don't we give every caller a locker number, and then we'll assign them a locker, and then he'll play us an effect.
Yeah,
and
your show is produced by Terry Smith.
I wanted to see if you knew that. All right, man.
Good stuff, AO. That's a heck of a call out of you. Braves still, Michael Harris did his thing, but they stink
crazy
right now.
They are. All right, so the NFL has decided to treat everybody fairly during the regular season. If a game goes to overtime, they're both going to get a possession. It only makes sense.
And you're saying this is just the regular season?
Well, no. It's always been that way in overtime. I'm sorry, in the playoffs.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
they're adding it to the regular season.
Okay,
Sorry,
I got you.
Yeah.
I like this. I've always felt like when we had those games where one team just goes down the field and scores a touchdown and then it's over and the other team doesn't get a crack at it. That's just never felt right to me.
Didn't it happen in the Super Bowl with the Pats and the Falcons?
You may be right. I'm not remembering that right now, but you're probably right. I'm just not remembering that at the moment. But I think the most famous one was the Chiefs-Bills game, the 13-second situation that happened in Kansas City a few years ago, and that really shined a light on this, where Josh Allen and that crew didn't get a chance to answer Mahomes and the gang after that game just being absolutely off the chain. So I think this is the right call. I really do, by the NFL. I think they got this one right.
Listen, I have to go back, but my mind tells me
is telling me no.
That the first Super Bowl that has been decided in overtime was when the Patriots came back to beat the Falcons when the Falcons were up 28-3. And they won the toss and went down and scored, and the game was over. Am I wrong?
I believe that happened.
I mean, how could you let that happen in a Super Bowl?
Because it was the Patriots. Duh.
He's buying into some of that Patriots.
He should be buying into it.
All they do is deflate football and smash cell phones. What do you mean? They do everything
Atlanta
right
scored,
over there.
let's see. Atlanta scored 3 straight touchdowns, took a 21-3 halftime lead. Went up 28-3 in the third. Patriots scored 25 straight points to tie the game in the final seconds. In overtime, New England received the kickoff after winning the coin toss and scored a touchdown to, quote, claim the title.
And then Tom Brady had his jersey stolen out of the locker room.
It was AR.
It wasn't me.
AR, it was you, Shaggy.
I wasn't at that one.
You were at the Miami one.
Was I at that one?
I think you were. Weren't you?
No,
at
no,
that one?
I wasn't at that one. That one was in Houston.
You
I
were
was
at
the
the
one in
after
Atlanta.
that.
I was the one in Atlanta where the jersey got stolen. It wasn't stolen after this game.
Okay.
I was at the Patriots Rams in Atlanta, the ugly Super Bowl of all time, and then we were all scolded by Trey Wingo that we complained about how bad the game was and how dare we do that.
It was horrible.
10-3?
13-3.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That was just an absolute joke of a Super Bowl. And you talk about letting Brady off the hook. Like, if you're a Rams fan and if you knew going into that game, all Brady and the Pats are going to do is score 13 points. You're like, we won the bowl.
Falcons let him off the hook, too, man.
We won the bowl. With the offense that they had, Todd Gurley and Goff and that whole crew.
Pete Carroll let him off the hook.
Oh, my. Don't even get me started
Not
on that.
handing the ball to beast mode.
But,
like,
holding Brady to
on.
13? You got to win the game. You got
to win the game.
We have it, so I might as well play it. Let's see.
Which one is this?
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Patriots.
That's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown them. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
There you go.
I love the raw emotion. I love just hearing him smack the podium like that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
good stuff. It's
Looking
one of
up
those
to my boy, Denny Green.
all-time NFL sound bites that'll live on forever.
That was the 06 Arizona Cardinals against the Bears, right?
Was that the big comeback on Monday Night Football or something? Like a 20-point comeback?
Was it 20? It was, yes, that's right. At halftime, it was 20-0.
That's right.
Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, for extra points, this would be huge if you could do it.
Name the quarterbacks?
Yeah, go ahead and name the quarterbacks.
I'm going to say Matt Leinart, because that was the year that he got drafted.
Yeah, you'll probably get the other one.
I'm going to go into Chicago. This was Rex Grossman.
That's right.
Sexy Rexy. Florida's finest right there.
The 06 Bears that won the North, lost in the Super Bowl to the Colts. And here's the interesting part about that game. Maddie, the Super Bowl and the national title game, Ohio State, Florida. Both teams, the Bears returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown with Devin Hester and lost the game.
Teddy
the Buckeyes returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown with Teddy Ginn and lost the game. Same back-to-back championships.
That's wild. That is
What are the
insane.
odds on that?
I have friends who were really, really young for that game. I mean, we were all like 6, 7 years old.
Wonderful.
Who legitimately think that Ted Ginn getting hurt is the reason they lost that game when they gave up 41 points and could not protect Troy Smith.
It was a bad omen, sir. But I'm with you. I would not make that the headline that was the way why they lost the game. All right, we're going to come back, Maddie, and dip back into college football with our friend Brad Crawford. You know, the top 2 seeds were thrashed in last year's college football playoff. What now? We'll talk about the regression from some, and we'll get his feeling on it. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, people are officially going crazy over our sleek, black-framed windows. They change the entire look of a home.
Leslie, nobody believes that just black frames can change the look of a home.
It's like when Superman put on his black-framed glasses and became Clark Kent.
Wait a second. Clark Kent is Superman? Are you messing with me right now?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Take action with Logan Services. Get up to $900 off a Train furnace and up to $1,500 off a Train air conditioner. Plus free duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule your free estimate now. Logan Services.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus and save $84 on select sets of Ford Nokian tires. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer ends April 15th. See store for details.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Now you can watch Rothman and Ice.
Go to YouTube and search 97.1 The Fan.
Rothman is wearing the pancake makeup, so you might as well watch. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Back at it. Ohio State, favorites to repeat. I don't know if that says more about them or more about the contenders around them or the expanded playoff or knowing that talent always wins, but
I feel like we see this a lot with certain programs that recruit well and they win it all, like Georgia, Bama, Ohio State. Usually they're the favorite going into next year.
Listen, you get Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith back, you got a pretty good head start on both sides of the ball.
Speaking of, go ahead.
I was going to say, but in my mind, and this really depends on how good Ohio State's quarterback's going to be, and because we know they have a lot of talent, but most of the time the quarterback drives the narrative. Arch Manning, Drew Aller, like the fact that those guys are coming back, but they're not the favorite, is interesting to me.
I know we're efforting our guy, Brad Crawford from 24/7 Sports. He put out his 10 best players entering the 2025 season. Number 1 on the board is Jeremiah Smith. Number 2 on the board is Caleb Downs. His top 5, Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker from Texas, Cade Klubnik, quarterback for Clemson, Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback for LSU. Bottom half of the top 10, Arch Manning, quarterback for Texas at 6. Dylan Stewart, pass rusher, who's an absolute monster at South Carolina. That dude can go. If you haven't caught him yet, check out one of their games. And then he's got Arizona's quarterback. I think it's Sam Leavitt. I haven't caught him yet. Leavitt, thank you. I think he transferred in, didn't he? Baby Chet?
Yeah, Michigan State.
Thank you. And then TJ Parker, edge rusher for Clemson, and then Jeremiah Love, the running back for Notre Dame, rounds out his top 10. So 2 Buckeyes up top. No surprise at all when you talk about 2 of the best players in the country. But above all the quarterbacks for Brad Crawford right now is a wide receiver and a safety for The Ohio State University.
Yeah, and they won, but they won it with a different team. And yes, I agree that if somehow it would have been, I don't know, name another brand that would have won that's not as powerful as Ohio State, maybe they wouldn't have given them the, until somebody beats them, they're the favorites. Right. And I'm not telling you I'm shocked Ohio State's the favorite. I'm just telling you that there's a little surprise and that the 2 quarterbacks I mentioned in Arch Manning and Drew Aller, guys that people think a lot of, are both coming back to contending teams. It's not like those guys are great quarterbacks on bad teams.
I'm in wait-and-see mode with Penn State automatically being this national championship contender. Like, I get that they brought back, the running backs and Drew Aller. That team last year did not have really any weapons outside of Tyler Warren, and he's now gone to the NFL. That really scared you.
Got the running backs.
That's what I said. They
Yeah.
do have the running back.
Yeah.
They do have Allard, but you're removing Abdul Carter, potentially top 5 pick, Tyler Warren, who's going to be a first-round pick. Like, I'm not ready to just hand them this, because Michigan did it 2 years ago. Ohio State did it last year. They brought back a couple household names that they're going to do the same things, because we know, watching this conference and watching Ohio State all the time, they got to get over that hurdle first before I think anybody gives them the benefit of the doubt of being right now in the offseason a solidified national championship contender. I'm not there with Penn State. Me.
No, you probably shouldn't be, based on Franklin as well. Like, he didn't solve every problem by beating a couple teams he should beat in the playoff. I think he got over a certain narrative for people that he just wouldn't lay an absolute egg, but he did, and it was his quarterback's going to get blamed for the Notre Dame game.
Yeah.
With the pass across the middle and getting that thing picked. But, they were a very good team. I think what people are thinking is they're going to get the experience boost. Guys that have been around, guys that have lived through it. But I have no trust that he couldn't screw up a game.
See, Eric, because that narrative is definitely out there for them. But when you think about the two national champs that have come out of this conference the last 2 years in Michigan and Ohio State, you're talking 10, 15 different guys that were returning, right, that played at a high level. Penn State's not doing that. They're not doing. They have it at the most important position, and Drew Allard was a highly touted recruit, and you catch him on the right week, and he looks like a dude. And there is a high percentage chance that now in year 3 he will be that with the experience that he has and that playoff run that they went on. But they should not get the benefit of the doubt at all, in my opinion.
I agree with you. They're not getting – they're a contender based on the guys they have back and the run they made last year. The one thing we don't know – is whether this kid from Troy and the receiver from USC are going to be big enough to put them over the top. They had big losses on defense. They did. So the fact that Abdul Carter and Kobe King, the linebacker, like, that's real big.
Yeah, no doubt.
They do host Oregon
with a bye in between that. So they get Villanova.
They play Ohio State.
They get Villanova on September 13th, and then they'll host Oregon on the 27th. So that works out very well for them. And then, as you mentioned, coming on the road to the shoe is going to be difficult. But unless there's, we don't know what Indiana's going to be and what type of magic they're going to cook up again. Who knows? We didn't expect anything from them a year ago.
I do like the quarterback they got.
Yeah, he seems like he's going to be able to give them at least a safe floor. I'm with you on that. And then you circle that game for Penn State, November 22nd at home against Nebraska. If Dylan Raiola takes that second-year leap, going from a true freshman with all that talent and turns into a dude, that could be a game that on paper right now doesn't look very strong. And then going into Kinnick's never easy in it either, right? Playing Iowa the week before you play Ohio State, but it looks like they got a bye in between that as well. So their schedule actually looks pretty decent right now with the talent that they have over there. They should be in the playoff. This is what we've always talked about with James Franklin. He's one of those head coaches that needs the expanded playoff. He got it, made some noise, but there's going to be so much pressure on him this year to do even more because of the perception around them right now and what they, quote, brought back.
I think the most interesting team, or one of them, will be Notre Dame. Making it all the way to the title, getting over that hump, having really, really, bad losses that people can forget about. The Northern Illinois loss from this past season at home, that was obviously the massive one. They were left for dead, and they made it all the way to the title game. And now they've got, they lose Jeremiah Law. Oh, no, he's coming back. He's back. Yeah, he's back.
They return a lot.
Yeah, he's back. Riley Leonard is the one that's gone. So the quarterback situation will be interesting because from a leadership standpoint. But I don't know if C.J. Carr, I know they're very excited about him, but just like Ohio State, the leadership they got from Will Howard, say what you want about Riley Leonard, but he did give them leadership that they don't have right now. I did like Angeli when he had to come in. He played great. Yeah. It was almost surprising how good their backup was. So, but it looks like Carr is going to be probably the one, but I think that's a very interesting. And then Georgia.
Real quick, AR, before you do that, in a similar light, when we talk about Ohio State and their week 1 matchup, Notre Dame's got an interesting one. They're going on the road to Miami, and Carson back in what he looks like in a new uniform down in the 305. Fascinating, especially when you talk about that first game for a team on the road, and not only on the road in a muggy, just hot and humid situation. Like, where's your conditioning at? Week 1, the first 2 games for Notre Dame at Miami against a veteran quarterback and a good coach, in my opinion, Mario Cristobal, that's building a good program. And then you host A&M, too, in your second game after that. They did a great job of going down to Kyle Field last year and picking up a win. So right out of the gate, Notre Dame will be tested with some pretty respectable programs in Miami and Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot to prove now. Moving forward. Marcus did an incredible job rescuing that, similarly to what Ryan Day had to do coming off the Michigan loss. And now they're both kind of the guy. Now they're past questioning in a way.
Yeah.
And so...
And the program backed him.
Yeah.
With an extension. And so there's the belief there. He's got the comfort there of knowing, hey, I'm their guy, and now I just got to go out and prove it. But you're right. Being able to get off the mat the way that they did against Northern Illinois, you just never know what you're going to get from a team after a demoralizing loss like that. They got in order, made a respectable run. No doubt about it.
Really hard to predict some of the stuff with guys transferring in.
Yeah.
They got a kid out of Virginia who's a receiver. They got Pauling from Wisconsin. Like, you just don't know how they're going to all fit in. But Georgia, to me, is very interesting because they're one of those teams that you're like, okay, you never have to question Georgia. But I'm wondering if you do this year. Like, they lost a lot. I know they should be able to reload no problem, but this is... They're not a sure thing.
Their offensive line looked bad against Notre Dame. And that's a school that typically has some, no pun intended, but dogs up front.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. And so I thought Gunnar Stockton looked all right. I know that, he kind of got thrown into a weird scenario there with
he did
halftime of the Texas game, but I thought there was something there with him. But yeah, definitely the talent up front is what they were missing.
And Kirby Smart was very honest and open about his roster, even starting at media day. Like, he was like, hey, I don't know if we got the depth this year. Like, he was very honest all year, and people thought he was blowing smoke and just, being respectable to everybody. No, you watched Georgia play last year, and that was real. They didn't have that same bite the way that they did, in previous years with Kirby, was just the way that they dominated the line of scrimmage, especially the D-line. With all the dudes that Georgia had with Davis and that crew and those linebackers, like, they're trying to get back to that standard. But it's hard to retain all that talent year in and year out in this new portal and NIL era. But Kirby is, viewed as the guy around the sport, so that expectation isn't going to lower at all for that program.
So they should be in the tournament. I mean, if they're not in the playoffs, something's wrong. Yeah. But, peeking at their schedule now, they're still playing, obviously, Bama, Ole Miss, and Texas at home, and Tennessee. They got Auburn, they got Florida and Jacksonville, Georgia Tech on the road. Like, this could be a multiple loss season for them and still get in. And then you never know. But I wouldn't book them as far as, and I don't know if I'd book anybody right now. That's the beauty of this season. You start looking at the future bets. It's Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Oregon. That's the other question about Oregon. Are they going to be able to continue to be at the level they played this past season, even though they got killed by Ohio State in the playoff?
Yeah, he's doing some good recruiting over there. Lanning is, that's for sure. So acquiring the talent.
Bam will be back.
Acquiring the talent for Lanning hasn't been an issue, but they've got to develop now a young quarterback after hitting the ground running with Lanning, with Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel, guys that played a lot of snaps. Now it looks like it's going to be Dante Moore, who hasn't done that much.
Bama's replacing their quarterback. Like, it's a little more up for grabs now that you think about it. I know it's only April, but this should be an incredibly fun year for the expanded playoff in college football. We'll come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, priority access to Stanley Cup playoff tickets. Act now. Visit BlueJackets.com/tickets.
Hey friends, Austin Ward here. Free for life. Just by saying that, you already know I'm referring to Awaken 180. They're the only company providing it. Fast, proven weight loss, and then keep it off thanks to free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket. Own the dream.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And now through April 15th, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now at Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit casterconnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution Specialists.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
All right, Chetster. Tell the truth. Take us home, big dog.
All right. Tell the truth. Can you think of a single legit April Fool's prank that you've ever seen pulled in real life, you know, beyond just like fake tweets?
I don't think it happened on April Fool's. I was in one of my first jobs, and I had driven to the station, and I was really cold, and I had left my car running, and somebody took it from the station and, like, drove it around the back. And just, like, I didn't know where it had gone for a while.
Let me ask you this, AR.
I can't remember anything else.
That's a cold prank.
Yeah.
When somebody pranked you with a police officer that came to the station,
right.
Was that April Fool's?
It was not April Fool's.
Jeez, you just have terrible friends.
This is when gambling was not, quote, legal yet. and there's some offshore situation going on. And a real live officer friendly showed up at the station asking for me and basically grab your things and
clink, clink.
Come with us.
Clink, clink, baby.
I think I got to the elevator and then they let me off the hook. But I think you were there. I went quietly.
I was sitting.
I did not resist.
No, you didn't, because I was sitting at my desk. I'll never forget it. Your desk was to the right. I mean, your office was to the right of my desk. And I remember this officer, and he was a tall officer, too, kind of physically imposing. Mm-hmm. And he came in there, and, you know, what you heard from AR happened. And I just remember thinking to myself, what the heck did he do? Like, knowing who you are, I couldn't think of anything that would get you in that type of trouble. Who pranked you? Like, who
I think
did
it was
that
Scotty.
Was it Scotty?
I think so, yeah.
Before you even said that, I was going to say, if it's Scotty Vegas.
I think
my goodness. No.
By the way, that cop wound up going to a Jackets game with us one night.
If he wanted to make it believable, he should have got himself arrested,
for our sweet night.
I know you had to be sweating for a second.
I was, but I couldn't think really what was going on.
Because you were spooked. That's why you couldn't think.
But I mean, I didn't freak out.
I would have loved it if he put you in handcuffs and put you in the back and maybe did a lap around the block real quick.
Really? Handcuffs are a little tight. Yeah, they come that way from the factory.
Oh, man.
I'm glad you remember that. I was trying to forget it.
Have you ever paid Scotty back for that? Because you got to get your lick back for that. Like, that's a ridiculous prank.
I'm worried if I pay him back, then that won't be a wash, and then there'll be more revenge, and then it'll be one after the next.
If you pull the exact same prank on him, years removed, and well, you know, now we're talking about it on the radio, but whatever. If you pull the exact same prank on him, do you think his first thought would be, "Oh, AR just got me back"?
No, I don't think so.
It's a good point, baby Chet. It wouldn't go to that.
I think I'm better off not sending a cop. Maybe somebody from the IRS. Maybe that might.
Oh, send those all-black trucks to his house. No doubt it. I like that.
All right. There we go.
You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther.
All right. You are Aaron Rodgers, guys. Mm-hmm. Now,
turn off the lights.
Tell the truth. Do you actually have your mind made up on what you're going to do? Or are you just being dramatic right now?
You're being dramatic because my name's Aaron Rodgers, and I like to be, an attention seeker. I like to be dramatic. I like to tell people that the definition of mandatory that's been around for hundreds of years is not the correct word. It's not the correct definition. That's who he is. He thinks he's smarter and better than everybody. So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is being dramatic. This is par for the course with him.
I'm not going to say that he knows 100% what he's going to do.
AR, he's throwing to DK Metcalf. He knows what he's doing. Come on. He's at UCLA working out with Metcalf.
That's true, but I'm wondering, this is the first time he's ever been a free agent. This is the last time he's going to pick a team. This is the last year he's probably going to play football. And I think the reason to believe that he knows is because everyone thinks the Steelers are the last team standing and there are no other options. So if he wants to play football, then he's going to Pittsburgh. But, people keep throwing the Vikings up here like he and O'Connell and that team would be better for him than Pittsburgh. And I don't know if the Vikings, what veteran are they going to sign to help? But Rodgers wants to play. He's certainly not signing up for a final year of football to not play.
Right.
So it does make sense that Pittsburgh would be the team based on who else are you going to throw out there. Where if it's the Vikings and they're leaning into J.J. McCarthy, if he's healthy, then Aaron might find himself in a Cousins situation. So you're probably right. If he's going to play, he knows. But I'm leaving just a little percentage that he'd prefer to go to Minnesota, even though I don't think they're leaning into it. But that's the only reason I'd give this a little bit of a 5% chance that he's waiting on something. And the other reason is he's probably waiting till after the draft based on compensatory stuff. I know people say, well, why isn't he signing with the Steelers yet? What are they waiting for? What's he waiting for? I think this is very calculated. I think the Steelers want to wait till after the draft because that affects compensatory stuff in their favor. So I think that's the reason we're waiting.
Just remember, it's not a lie. if you believe it.
All right, tell the truth. How much pressure will be on Jake Diebler next season in terms of job security, both from an internal perspective with Ross Bjork, also from a public perspective, such as on the radio?
I think it's kind of hard to answer right now without knowing what the roster is.
It won't have Aaron Bradshaw.
No, that's true.
Addition by subtraction.
No meat cheese. So for me right now, I got to wait and see what he does in the portal, how much right now talent he can get. And then I think that's a fair question to ask, Baby Chet. For me personally.
Signed a 5-year deal, right? Not going to get to year 3? It would implode if he doesn't make the turn. I'm not saying he wouldn't do it.
All I said was how much pressure. I didn't say all the way.
Well,
all the way.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm just bringing up the fact that it's not like I'm just bolstering my opinion that I don't think he's under immense pressure based on the fact that I don't know how invested they are in basketball yet. I want to see it to believe it. If they are, and then he gets big-time talent and they still don't make the dance, then all of a sudden I think the pressure's on.
Did you say I know my truth?
I know my truth.
We got a quick one to wrap it up. James Franklin, Penn State's head coach, he thinks that ketchup on hot dogs is entirely unacceptable. Tell the truth.
He's absolutely correct. It's a mustard. Pick a mustard, roll with that, and be done with it.
I'm not going to shame anybody for it, but if you're over the age of 12 and that's the only thing you're putting on the hot dog, I got a real problem with it. If you're ketchup, mustard, relish, if it's with other stuff, then I allow it. But if just ketchup on a hot dog and you're over the age of 12, I got a problem.
Just say it! Just tell me the truth!
Real quick, if you missed anything from our show, don't worry. Wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3, we'll be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of Rothman and Ice. Bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose.
Back tomorrow on a Hockey and Hounds Wednesday. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we are all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Hear that? That's the sound of saving a good deal more when you shop with M-Perks at Meijer. Some delicious blueberries, money saved. A creamy treat of cookie dough ice cream, that's money saved. Savings, savings, savings. Because every dollar spent is also 10 points earned in M-Perks, which you can use to save on your next grocery trip or up to $1 off per gallon on your next tank of gas. At Meijer, we work hard to help you save a good deal more for a whole lot less. That's bringing more good to life. Exclusions apply. See mperks.com for details.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking. An account that's filled with features, but no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. Because it's your money, right? So we think you should keep it. It's just one more way we're looking out for people every day. Is your bank looking out for you? Maybe it's time to switch. Visit your neighborhood Huntington branch or make the switch at huntington.com/yourmoney.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
It's your college hoops superfan, Timmy Hall here, and normally I would be super sad because the season is winding down, but I'm not. The finals are here, and that means you get one last time to bet on college basketball this season, and it could be the best part. So get in on all the action, expected and unexpected, with DraftKings Sportsbook. You got live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. The place. Ready to make that bet? Check out matchups, pick a team to win. It's really that simple. If it's your first time, here's something special. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TheFan971. That's code TheFan971. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
When you reach for UDF's new pizza, you're getting more than just a quick slice. You're getting family recipe focaccia dough, handcrafted in our bakery. You're biting into a hot, crispy crust. You're tasting delicious sauce and loads of meaty, cheesy flavor. You might even be burning the roof of your mouth on that first bite, but that's okay. It's a good burn. UDF makes more than just pizza. We make pizza for you. New Sicilian-style pizza from United Dairy Farmers at participating locations. UDF, made for you.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. April's a great time to spruce up around your house, like getting rid of those old, ugly, drafty, hard-to-open windows and starting fresh. Especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. There's no limit to how much you could save, and if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door too. Plus, with 0% financing, 0 down, and no monthly payments, you could get new windows and pay nothing until 2027. How do they do it? Well, Window Nation partners with the top window manufacturers in the nation to build windows to their high-quality specs. Then they pass the savings on to you. You'll protect your home with some of the best windows you can buy at a fraction of the price of those other brands. Just imagine what you could do with all that extra money. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free and pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. One more time, that's Buy 4, Get 4 free from Window Nation,